All right, welcome to the Spoiler Kings. My name's St. Kramer with Brandman Brandon, and we got Grizzly out in Denver with all the other Grizzly Bears.
This is where we go to hibernate, guys. I told you.
It drops under 20. You're like, oh, that's it. We're going to
Time
Denver.
to go. Going to Denver. Going to Denver. Going to hibernate. We'll see. Maybe I'll come back. We'll see. We don't know.
It's got to be much more tolerable than it is over here weather-wise.
No, it's not.
No,
No,
not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit.
yeah.
Remember, I got mountains right behind me. You can go skiing, except people like me don't go skiing.
You're not a doucher.
We got Derpy in the house. What's up, Derpy? See, we're
What's
not
going
that late.
on,
We're only
Derpy?
10 minutes late. Daddy Pascal. Yeah. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get that to the end of the show a little bit because I think that one we're gonna talk about the most, obviously. That was probably the better of the things we watched today or this week. R.I.P. Bill. Yeah. R.I.P. Bills. Oh my God.
I was like, yeah, that didn't bother me.
It bothered me because on our DraftKings, I picked a lot of the damn fucking Bills. What the hell? I picked you didn't know Pollard, and then all the Bills, and they all crapped out, and then Mahomes. I was like, oh man.
I had Josh Allen.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I thought I got it. I'm just gonna pick every single Bills. I think they're gonna do pretty well. They're fairly cheap. You know, if it's bad weather, I think he's gonna spread the ball around. Nope. Bills are like, what's football?
They're like, oh, you don't have a guard or tackle? Let's not do anything with the guard and tackle. Dude, come on.
Yeah. Let me just move this down. Yeah, so that was something, but we'll definitely talk about it. Hopefully tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow on the Pain and Grizzly show. But we're gonna talk about the movie Sick, streaming on Peacock.
Peacock.
So there's that. We're gonna talk about Sick, which is like a slasher kind of film. I think it was written by the same guy who did the screenplay for the original Scream.
Yeah, Kevin Williamson, right?
I believe so. Yeah. So, and you can definitely see it. So we'll get into that a little bit. You can see the similarities. So we're gonna get to Sick. Yeah. Sick, and then we're gonna talk about some other movies. Hey, what's up, Cleavis 17? Just up. Appreciate that. Cleaves. Yeah, Cleaves. Yeah, sorry. My screen was a little. I'm like, was that Cleavis? It was Cleaves.
Cleaves. I was like, what's going on?
There you go. Throw it up on the screen. Yeah. What else are we talking about? So obviously,
we'll talk about definitely that. We got The Last of Us. I think we got a few trailers that we could do today. It's gonna be fun. I mean, this is kind of what you want. This is the beginning of what we're going to start getting, guys. We're going to have something like every week for like the next 12 weeks. It's like literally something else all the damn time.
Yeah. So we got Cleaves. Appreciate you subscribing. And then
thank you,
Santano Munez. Thank you for subscribing. Subscribed a little bit earlier today. Thank you. But so we'll real quick before we get into our review of Sick, there was one thing I did want to talk about was Ant-Man. So we already got the private theater. We're hopefully going with Coat Lords, so another YouTube channel that we're friends of. We're gonna go see Ant-Man in a private theater. We're super excited. Usually, I read the leaks when they get leaked. Today, I believe today or yesterday, I noticed it today. The entire kind of script got leaked.
Yeah, the plot.
Like all the dialogue got leaked. So it's the entire. So it's not like it's not a script, as in it doesn't tell you the locations and settings and stuff. It's just the dialogue of all the characters was leaked. So from every word said on screen. So
I have not come across that. I will probably graciously stay away from that.
Yep, me too. I'm not interested at all in it.
No, same. I saw Den and Nerds posted it, and a few other YouTube channels I watched posted it. So I was kind of leery on who I wanted to watch it because I don't want to know the leaks. So Den and Nerds did it pretty good, where he talked about how it was leaked and what was leaked, and then he gets to the spoilers. I turned off the spoiler part. I don't want to know. It's not that it won't ruin the movie for me. I think it's like I'm like we're 3 weeks away. Maybe less than 3 weeks.
Yeah,
away.
yeah. We're in the home stretch, and I'm really nowadays. I'm really fond of just going in completely blind.
Yeah,
you know, going off like a couple trailers, a couple TV spots. I think that's enough for me. And this is big. You know, I'm sure you guys saw. You know, I think we even touched on this in the past. The way that the movie was pitched was, what if we make an Avengers movie with just Ant-Man? And when I heard that, I'm like, that's amazing. This is awesome. This is going to open a lot of doors moving forward. That's cool.
They tried to do the same thing with Doctor Strange. They try to do an Avengers movie with Spider-Man without any Avengers. They've done this before. But I've learned from Doctor Strange. I've learned from Spider-Man. I don't want to know. I want to go in with my eyes totally wide open, have no idea what's going on, and enjoy the experience. When I hear too many spoilers, it ruins it for me.
Yes. it overhypes it to a point where you're just like,
it'll never be able to reach the height in your mind, what's going to happen.
Yeah, like it's going to be hyped too much. Where this, like, I've read scripts before, like leaks and stuff, and it didn't ruin the movie for me. But you know what? I'm like, with this one, I'd rather go in without knowing anything. So I just watched the part, because he even says in the video, you know, if you want to watch it, he talks about what kind of leak it is, where it possibly came from, and stuff like that. And then he gives you like one last spoiler warning. He goes, "Get the F out if you don't want to know." You know, and then that's why I turned it off. So I have no idea what it said after that. But I was surprised, man. Like we're a month-ish away, 3 to 4 weeks away, and we get like the entire dialogue in the movie. Like it's just thrown out there.
The same thing happened in Multiverse of Madness. The same thing happened
there. That was Disney, though. That was just like, here, look at all these trailers that we.
No, not the trailers. They gave us all the dialogue. We knew there was a leak for all the dialogue. The same thing, Multiverse of Madness. And I just don't want it. I did it before. I think I was watching Twitter, a tweet of my time to shine, hello, or something like that. And I don't want to know. You know, you can be as right as you want to be. I want to experience it for myself. I want to enjoy it for myself. I've learned my lesson. I've learned my lesson.
Yeah. So I was kind of like, I mean, people read it obviously, but one thing I think Dan and Nerd said was, which is true, is it's hard to find on the internet right now because you can't find the actual leak itself, because Marvel came down hard with the hammer with this. They copyright striked anything that was getting close with it. You know, I think with Den and Nerds, he probably kept it very, very vague and added his 2 cents in a lot, where they probably was able to keep the video up. But from what he said, and what also I saw on the internet, is like, anybody who here it is, it got removed. You know, it was the copyright hammer went down hard on a lot of these channels and the internet. So, which is good, but also it's kind of like tells you like, this is legit. Like, Marvel knows, like, oh shit, that's real. That's what is the movie, and we need to, you know, protect it, which is good, which is what they should do. But
I don't know. Even if it's not the movie and it gives you a grandiose idea of something, that once again will ruin the movie. Because if you think it's so big and it's so amazing and all these things are happening, and they get to the movie and those things don't happen, if it was an old script that they were going to go with and some things have been changed, it's actually a worse thing. Because now people have this grandiose idea in their mind, and they're going to see it, and they'll be like, none of this shit happened.
Yeah.
That might be a bigger problem.
Yeah. And there's still enough time for Marvel to go in and change things. I mean, Taika, a bunch of other people said it was the day before the movie released. They're still editing stuff.
Yeah, but that was effects and stuff like that. So I don't see how you go in.
Taika said like they changed the end, like not end, but parts of the end of Ragnarok like a week before the movie was released. So they'll do it, and it's only a month out, so they said they got time.
I'm not going to go for Taika right now because Taika disappointed me. So
he's on your shit list.
He's on my list right now. He's not on my M. Night Shyamalan list, but he's on another list that he disappointed me a little bit more than I was expected to be disappointed. So he's on my secondary list. This one's not made up in like lipstick and circled on a mirror. This one's like made in like erasable marker on like a little whiteboard.
He still got a couple more strikes on him before he becomes like a bad director. Like one bad movie, doesn't quite get it. But I mean, there's been other directors and people saying like Marvel edits until it comes out. So but yeah, man. But yeah, I'm just throwing it out there so people know. If you are excited about the movie, there are leaks out there. I search for the leaks. I'm like, fuck it, I don't care. Read it. I'm not doing it this time. I'm not doing it.
I don't want nothing to do with that. No,
not even.
Poor us, Zach. Poor us, Zach. Poor us. He had a good idea. He just went too Taika.
Well, yeah, Zach didn't like either Taika movie, so. Taika towing the line. Don't cross it, Taika. I believe in you. Yeah, it'll be good. Taika will live another day. Most leaks have the opposite effect me. They lower my expectations. Yeah. I mean, for me, it doesn't change my expectations one way or the other. I don't think like leaks.
I think Multiverse of Madness did change my idea because when I heard, talk about we're gonna have Invincible Iron Man. We're gonna have we had some crazy leaks that are going to happen that they're gonna try to bring into this movie, and then all of a sudden none of that happened, and probably was never going to happen. But it was just great ideas that ruined. When I saw that just wasn't big enough. No matter what, I went back and watched it again later. It wasn't a bad movie. Multiverse of Madness is not a bad movie. It's just when I thought it was going to be the savior of Marvel, it was going to save us from COVID. It was going to come out and bring us everything we ever wanted in a movie. Every comic book that you ever seen of Avengers, that's what we were going to get in that movie, and we didn't. Yeah. It didn't matter what they did. It's just it wasn't going to be big enough. It wasn't going to be good enough.
It definitely wasn't a bad movie. It just didn't make enough use of its premise as much as it could have.
Yeah,
that's all.
Someone needed to rein in Taika. Someone should have said, "Oh, a little bit further in now. Come on, now let it happen."
Thunder. Yeah.
I think Thor: Love and Thunder was just a very, very expensive Guns N' Roses video. That's all that was.
Yeah, Taika has a vision. He plays well when it's his own sandbox. When you put him in somebody else's sandbox, he I don't want to say tries too hard, but he might push it to the limit, and he needs somebody to be like, whoa, come on, get back.
I'm weird, but I think Thor Ragnarok is one of my most rewatchable movies I've ever seen. Like I enjoy watching it every single time, but it's because Taika was on a leash. They said, "All right, not like a leash. I don't want you to think of him like a dog, but just don't go too far.
Control.
You can go within this box and do whatever you need to do and be as creative as you want, but don't go this far and don't forget about the plot." And Taika sometimes will go on his rants and forgets about a plot. What's that mean? Like he goes off James Cameron sometimes. I don't need him to do that.
Well, he's a very capable screenwriter. Like What We Do in the Shadows, Jojo Rabbit was awesome.
God. I love
so I think it kind of suffered from kind of like that curse that plagues a lot of sequels, unfortunately. Like if you do something and it lands and it works, a lot of people kind of double down on it. Like we saw it in like for example, Avengers: Age of Ultron, which was a solid enough movie to me, but we didn't really double down on like a lot of the Whedonisms, like the quips and kind of making it bigger and essentially making it one big trailer for Phase 3.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. It was Phase 3.
Yeah, or am I wrong?
It was a trailer for. It was like an opening trailer for Phase 3 or closing for Phase 2.
Yeah,
Like
and and Ragnarok. Like a lot of a thing that really stuck with people who saw Ragnarok and loved Ragnarok was like, for example, the more humorous approach, and he basically did that on roids for Love and Thunder. Unfortunately, I think a lot of the humor, it worked a lot more in Ragnarok.
So it worked in Ragnarok because it still had serious parts.
It still had serious parts.
Thor was still a badass. He still came in, kicked the Hulk's ass. He still came in and was killing everybody. Like, oh, he got are you the god of hammers or are you the god of lightning? Thunder. Like which one is it? And you see him change, you saw him change, and you saw how badass he was again. They didn't take the power away from Thor. That's why I liked about Ragnarok. They still let you understand that Thor, when he has all his shit together, is still the baddest of everybody. That was even the joke. The strongest Avenger. But we all know when Thor has his shit together, he is. That's what he is. He's a god.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is.
If Waititi really ran with the tone that the first 5 minutes of Love and Thunder set, which was great, by the way, if he ran with that, with some humor here and there, kind of like some God killing. You had Christian Bale at your disposal, and he was just killing every scene he was in. He was just dominant, even with his limited screen time, because he's that great an actor. And the MCU was so lucky to have him. I was really excited that the MCU had him, and but anyway, like if Waititi really ran with the tone that the opening set with some humor here and there, it could have been. For me, I think it could have been up there with Ragnarok. But as it stood, every time something serious happened, like something serious with gore or something serious with like Jane's cancer happened, what did we get?
You get scream and go.
It's like he was afraid to go there. Which sucked. It was a lot of potential. Like I could still watch it here and there, but it's more, whereas I can watch Ragnarok and really be engaged, exactly like you said, every time. I throw on Love and Thunder as like background noise when I'm doing chores or like cleaning up or something that I can't decide on anything else.
Even then, I probably I'll turn it off. Honestly, I didn't mind the movie, but I turned it off. Because it disappointed me. Because there's plot holes. When you're a great director, you shouldn't have plot holes.
Yeah, I mean, it's Marvel. I mean, it's a comic book movie. You're gonna have plot holes. There's no comic book movie that does not have plot holes.
But not a big one like I'm gonna go get gods, and then the second say, "Oh, I don't need gods. I could use kids. They were always there." What the fuck?
Yeah. Well, technically, aren't the kids all gods? Technically,
they're all Asgardians, but doesn't mean they're all gods. Like that,
aren't all Asgardians gods though? I thought
no.
Maybe not like the same
that's why
god
Thor
level.
Thor is special, and Thor is able to give the power of the gods. But my point is still like why would you do one thing and like he made 30 minutes of the movie not mean anything? Not only did he do full Taika, but 30 minutes of the movie didn't mean anything in that journey for 2.5 hour movie. That doesn't sit right with me. I feel like Taika could have done better. If he had a little bit of someone just kind of holding the reins, Taika would have did a great job. I think the movie would have been a lot better, personally.
Yeah. I think there was a lot of Phase 4. Phase 4 was the absence of Feige. He just wasn't there. Phase 4 was
he took a step back. He
was there in robot form. He was there in robot form.
And Kevin, funny, but
I do. Which is it's a double-edged sword. I kind of appreciate that. After Endgame, the culmination of all those phases, which was just incredible in the form of Infinity War and Endgame. He took a little break. He stepped back. He kind of let the directors kind of play in their own individual sandboxes, which is cool. I think that was probably a good thing to do in the interim before, we enter phase 5, with, starting in a few weeks technically. But,
Yeah.
and now we're going to get that build up, towards, Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars and stuff like that. And Feige's going to probably, be the head of the command center, so to speak, which is cool. So, but
what happens is now Feige has so much ambition that he wants it to go a certain way, and that you can direct. But I'm going to make sure the direction is still going this way. And when Feige does that, we get great movies. That's just what it happens. When Feige says, "Be who you are, do your story, but we're going to go this way," instead of just saying, "Hey, throw these things into your movie and it'll all work out." I think even Feige got a little bit big-headed and not realize you have to be a little bit more hands-on with these type of movies, because you're trying to appease the audience, which is mostly non-comic book readers, and then the people who care about it, they're all comic book readers. And if you don't appease both, you're not going to have a great movie. But when you do, you have an all-time great. And they have an opportunity with Ant-Man Quantumania to have an all-time great movie, because it's being released in China at the same time as its opening. So we're talking about a movie that could easily do 1.3 billion, 1.5 billion, one of those big numbers, and be great.
That'd be the if they could do that, if they can start off phase 5 with a banger, man, that's gonna change everyone's view on everything. Because I think phase 4 was like you guys said, him not, but it's also was him not being there. And I think it was like he played it very loose. He's like, "Hey, introduce this, and I don't care." He's like, here's Miss Marvel, bring her into the universe. When it comes to the details, I think phase 5 is going to have a lot of the details of Kamala Khan, Kang, because that was introduced, in phase 4, so all the things that were introduced in phase 4, he's going to be like, okay, you know them already. Now we get to have the real fun with them and make them important, so I think
I'm going to
connect
them he's going to connect them with comic book accurate themes. That's what I think he's going to be doing. And if he does that enough, it doesn't have to be right out of the comics, but like enough from a variant edition, from some type of world, it makes sense to what you're saying. If he does those things, I think he can go a long way. Like him becoming the Beyonder, I don't love, but I can deal with it. What's up, Tony? But I can deal with it being Beyonder as long as you give the Beyonder the same type of Beyonder powers. Like there's things that you can do as long as you are still kind of going with the comic book accurate stuff. So we'll see.
Yeah. I think
see what you did. Yeah. Take this is all your fault. You start bringing up these movies.
I brought Taika.
You bring it up as soon as you bring Taika in, the whole conversation goes full Taika, and then next we're 30 minutes into a conversation.
You never go full Taika.
Don't go full Taika. You know that.
Never go full Taika. Oh man, yeah, it is what it is, man. But I mean, we all love the MCU. We're all, I think, comic book fans, definitely MCU fans. So we want to see, I mean, not only the MCU but also the DC. But we want to see these things, be good, be entertaining, be around for a long time. You know what I mean? Like for me, I can't wait to take my son to go see an MCU movie. Like what 20 by what it'll be old enough in about 4 years, 5 years, maybe.
2027.
Yeah,
I think he'll be okay with it.
Yeah,
2027. Yeah, he'll be like,
so I want Marvel to be good and DC to be good by then. You know what I mean? So yeah. So
I don't know, man. DC. I've been waiting for this for 20 years. I've been waiting for 20 years. I know you're a believer. They have the better content. They have the better content. They have the better animated series. All they gotta do is not F it up.
They're gonna get it.
I don't know, man.
Just put in charge someone who's overseeing the universe, who actually grasps the content and actually knows what they're doing.
Yeah. I think they got the guy with James Gunn. I think they got James Gunn.
I don't know, man.
The good guy.
My question is, does James Gunn think is he too full of himself?
I don't think so. I don't think being full of himself is.
Hey, I just said Feige. I just said Feige. I believe Phase 4 got too full of himself, and that's what I'm saying. With having a lot of positive things that are going on, because the Guardians of the Galaxy is great, Peacemaker is great, like he's done a lot of great things. Then sometimes you think anything I do is great, instead of sometimes you need to ask other people and talk it out the whole idea. So I don't know. Maybe he might be great. I might be wrong. We might be here 2 years from now. I'll be like, he blew my mind. I was wrong. He's 100% right. But I like to wait to see it. That's all.
Yeah. I think he's surrounding himself with good people, and I think he has a plan. My only thing is he was saying we're getting an announcement in January. There's like 7 days left in January. Well, 8 days, whatever. Left in January. It was like
I'm not entirely sure there'll be any announcement. They're still very early on in this process. So
yeah,
I'd be really surprised if there's any announcement, if we get anything for quite some time, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a while.
That's the issue.
But what's
he said
is that January. Him talking? His talking is going to get him in trouble. This is why I talked about before. All the stuff he says, and there's no need. No one asks you when. You don't have to go ahead and tell people this is the exact day I want to do stuff. You do it. You're the boss. You're the boss. You know what you want to do.
I think somebody told him, because he's been pretty quiet lately. He's been pretty quiet pretty much all of this month. All this month, Jason Momoa has been more talkative on the whole thing than James Gunn. I really not have heard much from him. But we got it. If they keep James Gunn off Twitter, then maybe he can fully focus on the DC roadmap. That's exactly what Brian was saying.
Exactly.
So
calm those Twitter fingers down, man. He's a great screenwriter. He makes great stories. He takes things that you don't care about and he makes them some of the most important things ever. Like, I actually went and bought a Guardians of the Galaxy comic book. I got lots of comic books. I never went in my life went to go get Guardians of the Galaxy comic book, and I actually did. That's what he's done. So he has that ability. I just got to see it, man. Sometimes, hope the job's not too big for you, and show me what you got. Yeah, and he shouldn't. Honestly, he said he had put Slate out. He should put out 3 movies and say this is where we're going to go. But this is not phase 1. These are just movies that are going to be concepts that we're going to be going with. And the slate he waits to, Comic-Con. If he already has it, wait to Comic-Con. Make us wait. Water, like, hey, throw a little drops of water and say, hey, you can get the full glass soon. Just wait.
I'd be completely fine with him just kind of going completely under the radar with whatever the plan is. Just focus on formulating the plan and setting it in stone.
But you already promised it.
Yeah, I think
at the same, like you said, at the same time, there's a flip side to that. A lot of the things in the DCEU under Zack Snyder. We're kind of planned too, like a Cyborg movie, Wonder Woman 3, all these things that were supposed to happen that ended up not happening. So, I'd be fine with him just kind of playing it close to the chest. Granted, I know he's already said there's going to be some announcements.
It's not like they did a C2E2 or a Comic-Con announcement and then they're pulling it back. It's like he just voluntarily said, before the end of January, you're going to get this. So now you got to be a man of your word. And so, but that's what I'm saying. Just give us like a few things. Just don't get this huge slate out. We don't deserve that. First off, the fan base doesn't deserve all that right now. Give us a few things and then do a big announcement. Do it big and blow up Comic-Con. Rule Comic-Con for a year. That would be amazing. DC rules Comic-Con. That would be the headline.
Yeah, if DC finally wins Comic-Con, that'll be game. That'll be not want to say game over, but that would be a change. Like, oh, here we go. Like, finally, see Marvel can share or has to share the stage. But I think that's what he's gonna do. I think he's gonna be very loose with, like you said, like, oh, here we're gonna do a Superman movie and we're gonna do a Batman movie. He has to announce something because he promised. And now I think like his bosses were like, hey, this is why you keep your mouth shut. And he's been keeping his mouth shut. But you have to, now you said something, now you got to at least throw something out there. And I think it's going to be probably because the end of the Monday and Tuesday next week is the end of the month. I wouldn't be surprised if we get something on the 30th. Like that one of the last days of the month. Yeah, it was a bad idea to respond to everything. It really was. He was everything.
Hey, I've been saying that. I've been saying it for weeks. I was like, dude, you're a boss. Why are you worried about everything, man?
Yeah.
It's like going to someone who's like upset with you from 5th grade and you got to go fight him. Like, dude, that doesn't matter now. Let me go do my job. You know, I'm not worried about you. You know, do your job, lead us into the next generation, make DCU what it should have been. Make it be on the same level as the animated series that they released in the 90s, and you could do great things. So let's not worry about that. Let's just be you.
Yeah. This is another thing what Tony said. As soon as James drops his Slate Snyder cultist, we'll be running to Twitter faster than a crackhead on trash.
You're not wrong.
100% true, man. You were not wrong. Like as soon as he says like we're gonna do a Batman movie, they're gonna if that's all he says, we're going to do a Batman movie. You're gonna have all these cult Snyder people just coming and going crazy. He can say anything. Yeah. He can just say Superman, and then you're gonna get like 100 people saying, "Yeah, Henry Cavill." Like,
we stole the Snyderverse, so he's making a Smallville movie.
Yeah. So you're not wrong, man. Yeah, that's why this first movie, I think he knows. I think all of DC, Warner Brothers, people in charge of running DC knows this first movie has to be one of the best things they've made since The Dark Knight. Like it's got to be amazing.
So you're saying it has to be the greatest comic book movie of all time, because The Dark Knight is the greatest comic book movie of all time.
Because that's the only way you shut up the Snyder people. That's the only way. You're like, here's an amazing, damn near perfect movie. They did it with the Batman. That came out of left field where people were like, "Oh, Twilight Boys playing Batman, it's gonna be stupid," and it was amazing. Do it again.
It was good, but I think it would have to be. I think exactly. I think it needs to be on the same level as the Batman. I don't think it needs to be on the level as the Dark Knight, where you see one of the greatest roles ever played by any human being. Like when you see some of the greatest villains you ever seen on screen. I think that's a lot to ask for a beginning of a movie. And beginning of a franchise, but if it's as good as the Batman, that could go somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Zach said, "I just want great individual movies for League members other than Batman." Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Me too. Like Batman is not the only character, and Warner Brothers has been milking him for decades. He's not. He's a great character, but he's not the only great character, and it sucks that Warner Brothers unfortunately doesn't think so more often than not. Let's get a great Superman movie that isn't connected to the to the Richard Donner, Christopher Reeve movies. That's where they went wrong with Superman Returns, or
that's so hard. That's hard. I mean, Wonder Woman. The original Wonder Woman was great.
The original Wonder Woman was great.
The original Aquaman, remember, guys, it's the highest grossing DC movie in this entire slate. Like the original Aquaman movie was a fun movie. So my
beautifully
point,
shot.
Here's my worry was DC has done the right before. They've done good things before.
Breaking up a little.
But can you I'll say, well, this hotel. Damn it, Zack Snyder.
He's wiggling the Wi-Fi cable.
Oh, you thought you had it.
But DC has so many cool characters that they can get into. So many. Booster Gold. I think a lot of people want to see Booster Gold.
I love a Booster Gold movie. Yeah. I absolutely love a Booster Gold movie, and it's kind of up Gunn's alley. Like if he were to write and direct a Booster Gold movie, if that's one of the ones in this universe that he writes and directs himself, I'd be all for it. Like that really kind of fits his MO. I think Booster Gold does.
Big time. I mean, even like, I mean, obviously for me, I'm kind of biased because I'm a Green Lantern fan, but just the Green Lantern and all the other lanterns and stories they have, that's a whole franchise in itself. You know what I mean? Like you can have that be a thing and then tie that in with the rest of the movies and stuff like that. Like I will lose my shit if they make a Blackest Night live action on screen and stuff like that. You know, but that's like years down the road. Yeah,
because Green Lantern is probably my number one favorite DC character. So yeah, I'm with you on that. Like, yeah, that's like Green Lantern is a strong enough character that's like you said, a franchise in its own corner in itself, completely separate from all the other characters. That could be amazing. You know, it'll you have
to put money behind it, and you need to get a great character behind it. You gotta put money behind it.
Yeah, that's a lot of CGI. A lot.
You know what they could do? You know, for like what I think they could do, like for the Green Lantern suits, rather than making them CG, which I understand what they were I understand what they were going for in the Ryan Reynolds movie, but the execution was a completely different matter. By making it, you know, because I understand the suit is a construct of the ring, so I do kind of understand what they were doing. What I would do if I were in charge, like make practical suits with like kind of like LED enhancements, like in Tron Legacy.
Like that.
That's what I'd do.
Super easy with it. You know, it doesn't need to be anything flashy. Like them making the whole suit CGI was. I thought that was bad. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, I understand the idea behind it, but the execution it looked pretty bad, especially the domino mask making that CG. It just looked wrong.
Yeah, it was bad. And then Zach said Dark Knight did more damage to DC brand than anything else by being so great. It raised the bar so high that it made
by being the greatest of all time.
Yeah. You know, the movie itself didn't do damage to DC.
Everything else pales in comparison.
Yeah, everything around it, you know, it's like nothing can come close to it. I mean, I think that's what you mean. I don't mean to misread what you kind of read into what you said, but yeah. And then CGZ, what's up? Said if DCU could perfect a Green Lantern, I'll be pleased. I'll be super
Absolutely. I'd be so happy. Like, there's so much potential for it to just be amazing.
Yeah. Like, Sinestro was great, I thought, in the movie.
You couldn't have gotten a more perfect. You couldn't have gotten a more perfect actor to play Sinestro than Mark Strong. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he was so good. You know, even Kilowog with
Michael Clark
Duncan was pretty good. But I think you could do a good deal, but it seems like he doesn't really care about it. So,
they just didn't do enough. You know, with the Green Lantern, they didn't do enough.
I don't think they knew the character.
Yeah, the character of Hal was undercooked. You know, he just bad. Yeah, like he's the Green Lantern for a couple hours and then like quits because Sinestro hurt his feelings.
Yeah, which I was like, this is not Hal Jordan.
No,
not Hal Jordan. Xavier said, give me Booster Gold, Green Lantern Corps, or even a proper Blue Beetle movie. We might get a proper Blue Beetle
movie. Get a proper Blue Beetle movie later this year. We're going to find out.
Yeah.
Zach's
out. Appreciate it, Zach.
Once again.
Thanks, Zach.
Once again, prove it to me.
What?
Gotta prove it. That's all. Prove to me that you're going to be able to do the right movie. If you could do, I mean, we don't know what they're going to do until I start seeing those things. I mean, but Warner Brothers has not earned anything for me.
None of these movies are a James Gunn movie, though. So whether these movies are bad or good, it doesn't matter. Because James Gunn had no say-so in any of them. If any, yeah. So
but you understand it still matters, right? It's still gonna matter. In everyone's eyes, it's gonna matter.
Because it's the name. But all the people that greenlit all these movies are no longer with the company. You know, so but in the end, it's still the logo, it's still the company. You know, so I get what you're saying, but you know, none of these movies are gonna be what DC is going to be going forward. I don't think so, but could be wrong. But yeah, well let's uh-oh. I think he's changing up. So while Brian does that, there's Zach Attack. So Zach Attack's been on the channel a bunch. Appreciate you being here, man. Go check out Zach Attack movie reviews. Go check him out. Go hit that sub button. He's almost at 400, so go help him out with that. And he's starting to do some live streams. He does some great movie reviews, everything. He wound up reviewing Sick a couple days ago, and we're gonna review Sick in a couple minutes. So I was hoping to have him in stream, but I know it's probably later over there for him. Mm-hmm. And then, but yeah, appreciate it, Zach. Then give me a thumbs up, Brian, whenever you're good to go. Yeah, so we're gonna get into the movie Sick for a little bit. We got way sidetracked. We're like, oh, we'll start off with Sick, and then 45 minutes later,
it's just the ebb and flow of how it rolls. It's just I've come to accept it.
Yeah. Once we start talking like comic book movies, and once we start talking,
it's
comic
like 85
movies,
minutes later, we go crazy. Exactly, we always go crazy somehow.
Yeah, but it is what it is. You good?
You
were having issues?
Hold on.
We can hear you. What? Comic book stuff. We definitely up. I think he was gonna say, "Can you hear me?" And then cut it. But we had a few trailers we'll get into after the Sick, and then so we're gonna do Sick. If anybody's watching, we're gonna do that. That should be pretty quick. Just me and Brian. Brandon, you didn't watch it yet.
Did not get around to watching it.
Yeah, so that should be a fairly quick review. Then we're gonna watch a couple of trailers. I know we have that new Harley Quinn, a very problematic Valentine's Day special. That's the name of it. I love Harley Quinn, and this looks like it's going to be maximum Harley Quinn. There's going to be a lot of sexual stuff in this one.
I love Harley Quinn. It's like Velma, only it doesn't freaking suck.
Yeah, it doesn't suck. Oh God, Velma. So we'll watch the Harley Quinn, and then I think there's a new Dungeons and Dragons trailer coming out,
which I have not seen, by the way. I'm actually getting progressively. Yeah, I'm getting progressively excited for that movie.
Same.
Yeah, the first trailer was just so entertaining to me. It really looks like they're really going all in when it comes to like the kind of campy, and kind of hokey nature of it. It seems very self-aware almost.
Yeah,
at least from the first trailer.
Yeah, and I think it's got a really good cast. Very, very like kind of like diverse cast where you have like obviously Chris Evans,
Pine.
Chris Pine. There you go.
Chris Pine, Michelle Rodriguez.
Michelle Rodriguez is in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hugh Grant.
Yeah, that's right. I'm thinking the nerdy kid from the Detective Pikachu.
Justice Smith.
Smith.
He sure is in it. He
is in it too.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's got like it's got a cast.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. And then Sick was very generic. That's probably a good way of putting it. Very good way of putting it. You good?
I gotta do one more thing, so put me down one more time.
All right. See if you can flip the phone.
Yeah.
So we get you long ways. All right, let him do that.
But the cast is pretty. Isn't the dude from what was the musical Hamilton?
Oh, is he in it?
I think so. Bridgerton.
Okay.
It might be Bridget. I think I'm thinking of Bridgerton. I guess like the main guy from that is in it too.
Michelle Rodriguez, Justice Smith, Hugh Grant, Chloe Coleman, Daisy Head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it looks good. Looks good.
Yeah. I'm gonna check it out.
Hugh Grant, man. Hugh Grant has been in nothing in a while.
I think the last thing that I really saw. I think the last thing that I really saw him in Bridgerton. Okay. I think the last thing that I really saw him in was that miniseries on HBO, The Undoing, from almost like 2 years ago with him and Nicole Kidman, and which was a pretty crazy series, by the way.
Yeah, it's good. Even though I hate the film, I'll have was it how you pronounce it?
Rage
Jean Page to look at.
Yeah, the Bridgerton guy.
Yeah, the Bridgerton guy. Yeah, he's gonna be in it. Yeah, good cast.
Yeah.
Hugh Grant has been in film purgatory. Yeah, that's what happens when you cheat on what was his wife Elizabeth
Hurley.
Yeah, dude.
Why would you?
Dude.
Why?
Dude. Like, come on, man.
He deserves to never live that down.
I forgot he was on a late night show. I forgot if it was like it was either probably Letterman or Jay Leno probably, and they legit asked him, like sat down like it's okay. Why? It's like you have Elizabeth Hurley, who's just banging, like super gorgeous, pretty
even
great
to this day.
Yeah,
even to this day, and like she's got to be like in her late 50s at this point.
She's in her 50s.
And when take her out for cheeseburgers. She's aged all of like 4 minutes ever since the first Austin Powers.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I remember it's still Bedazzled is one of my favorite movies, man. It's Elizabeth Hurley is like the devil, and then the dude, Brendan Fraser. They have his coming back right now.
Yeah.
That was a great movie. I would love to see them make a sequel to that. Like make a sequel to that. That'd be super fun.
You gotta make money first. You gotta make money first. I don't think it made money.
I don't think it made money, but I think she's still famous enough, maybe even more so now than she was then, because of the controversy and stuff, and especially all the stuff on every time she posts a bikini pic on Instagram, that thing's like trending, for like a week, and then he's having his comeback. I mean, everybody loves Brendan Fraser right now, like everybody. That man's winning all the awards, and I think he said he would like to do something with her again, because that was a good movie, man. It was a fun good movie, but
okay.
What? You didn't like it?
It was okay.
I liked it. I mean, because it also like it kind of pushed. Well, she was like always like in a skinny, like skin tight outfit one way or another. And then Brandon Fraser was always like playing a different character. So like, he was like a big goofy basketball player, and then he was this, and he switched between all these like different characters. So that was kind of like fun to watch.
I totally hear what you said, but I just don't think it was rated that good.
Nah,
I
mean it wasn't.
And then like, if they're gonna do that, they need to go do John Carter of Earth. Try to do that again too, because it was a good concept. They just didn't do a good job doing it. So.
Oh yeah, it's a great concept. The books are a lot of fun to read too. They just not sure where they went wrong. The marketing really failed John Carter, and probably them renaming it, probably them calling it John Carter probably hurt it, because originally they were going to title it John Carter of Mars, which they really should have done. That probably would have helped.
100%. Yeah, that would have.
Damn it!
Yeah, I don't know. That movie had issues from start to end. So I don't think they knew what they wanted to do with it. But yeah. And then Morbius earns 5 Razzie nominations. Worst picture, worst actor, worst supporting actress, worst director, and worst screenplay. There you go. If anybody watches the Razzies.
That works.
It's something. All right. You good to go, man?
Yep, finally.
Get us
I had to go back to my backup. I was like, damn it. Here we go.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna bring Brandon on there. And then cool. Let's do a quick review for this sick movie.
All right.
The sick movie.
Yeah. Sick. All right. All right. Welcome to the Spoiler Kings. My name is Tim Kramer with Brandon, Brandman Brandon, and Brian the Grizzly. What's up, guys?
What's up, guys? You know,
all right.
Sitting here in Denver, doing my thing, you know. Hibernating and, getting all grizzly like, you know. It takes a long time to be like this grizzly. It's crazy.
this grizzle. So we watched me and Brian watched Sick. It came out, I believe it came out 2 weeks ago. It's on Peacock. It's streaming now on Peacock, so you can go and watch it. Brandman, unfortunately Brandon didn't get a chance to watch it. But that might be for the better.
I'll say lucky.
Yeah, because me and Brian we're gonna do a quick review on it with spoilers and everything. So yeah.
Spoil it. Go for it.
Yeah. We'll spoil it. I think if you've seen a slasher movie,
then you've seen this entire movie.
Yeah, you won't be surprised. You know, with any of the surprises that are meant for you. Let me do a quick. Well, I can just do a quick synopsis right off the bat. So basically, the story follows 2 friends, 2 female characters. That's why I wanted to look up their names.
We have Gideon,
Parker. Yeah,
Parker and Mary.
And Mary. Were our friends in college. They decide to go quarantine together in Parker's dad's cabin in the woods, basically, right? Right now, obviously, big time. This is the middle of COVID, peak COVID. That plays a big part of it. You know, it is called sick. So the last big sickness was COVID, So that plays a role in it. So they go to quarantine, and as they go to quarantine, they get stalked by a murderer trying to kill them, and we do not know why until the very end. And at the very end, we get all the twists and the surprise, and the ending every slasher movie kind of ends. So, but that's pretty much it. It's a very easy to follow slasher. You know, kind of thing. 2 friends in a cabin and somebody's trying to kill them. Yeah, basically.
Dude,
there you go.
I think when we talked about this movie, I said to you guys that I was screaming out, like during the movie, what the hell are you doing? Who decides to go into a cabin? He's like, there's no one for miles around. And there's 2 little girls. It's like, that's a bad idea. You know, and then do they not think it's a bad idea? Also, there's no weapons. There's no alarm system. They don't have a phone line. Her parents don't send somebody. You don't. When things go happening, no one calls the police. There's so many things that just didn't make sense to me. I was like, all right, that's stupid.
I mean, the whole like them being in the middle of the woods was them thinking about hanging out for a weekend, but also quarantining together. So I was like, okay, maybe, but it's just them.
And her parents thought that was a good idea.
Her parents don't know.
I think her dad did know.
Or
she said like because you remember their dad said it's probably my dad. Someone sending my dad sending someone to come check on us.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So like, you're just like the worst father of all time. Like you just win worst father of all time award. I don't know. This is just it's crazy to me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So since we're on some of the bad stuff, some of that is good. It's not very original for me. You know, it goes through all the beats. The person who wrote the screenplay for Scream, the original Scream, which was game changer, wrote this one, and it has some of the same vibes, especially in the beginning with the first big kill, and then the story kind of starts after the big first kill. So you had that, but then it and nothing else. There's no buildup. That was my issue. It was like, cool first killing. It pulled me in a little bit, and then after that, it was legit people talking. It was just talking. There was no reason besides just friends talk. That's all it was. You know what I mean? Where like at least in Scream, they were friends, but they were all talking about the plot and the story to lead it forward. This was just them hanging out and talking. Some of it becomes relevant way later at the end of the film. I'm not a big fan of that kind of stuff. It's like questions, stuff that you don't know what's important. And then the last 10 minutes, you're like, oh, everything that I was bored watching is important. And I should have paid attention, but I didn't because it was boring. So there's a lot. There's a lot of that.
As far as what bad for me, I think they actually did a good job foreshadowing a lot of stuff. Like you were telling me it's bad. Like I thought it was good to foreshadow what they were going to do, because I knew it's a campy slasher movie. Got down to the top. I already knew that was good. So at least you're going to support some of the stuff. You're going to make us understand where they're coming from. You're going to give us information that we know is going to be necessary later. And they're foreshadowing stuff that made it very obvious for me for where they're going. I felt like the plot was written by a 12-year-old with a crayon. Like we knew exactly. It wasn't words. It was just pictures. Like, and then you're going to have this guy do this, and then stab, and then knocking at the door. Like, it was just very typical. And they did all the normal horror movie bad things, stupid things, trapping themselves, running to certain places,
splitting up. There was like I remember that one part with fairly early-ish in the morning. The guy grabs the girl and she goes, "Where's Mary?" She goes, "Oh, she's in bed." He's like, "Here's the keys. Go rump the car." I was like, "What? Like, why
Really?
weren't you stating?"
Why won't we just go attack 201?
Yeah.
If you think it's only one,
and then
let's go all three of us together. Now we're gonna go get this other guy. Like this, it just didn't make any sense. They made all the bad movie things. Then they try to drive a car that had slashed tires. It's just so many bad movies. I mean, where was Mary's cell phone the entire time?
Well, I think they said the killers took all their phones.
Well, I saw the killer take Parker's phone. I saw him kill
DJ's phone.
DJ's phone. I saw them take Parker's phone. Never saw Mary's phone.
Maybe. I thought they did.
I thought that they would have more sits. They keep leaving the door wide open. So, like, it's just over and over again. Like, if I'm in the middle of nowhere, I'm locking the door like 5 times and put a chair underneath it. That's just what I would do. I just didn't understand why they made all these stupid mistakes. And like, I think the end was so stupid to me.
Yeah.
I couldn't forgive it. It just seemed so stupid.
Yeah.
And I saw it coming. So
yeah, that was my big thing. Is like Scream. The first Scream, I didn't see it coming. That was that. But because of the first Scream, it changed the genre altogether, and now you start thinking more in depth. This I think wasn't hard. Right away, once
you saw the picture.
Before the first kill, I already knew I knew the main ending. I'm like, this is how it's going to end. And then as it got closer to the ending, I started filling in the details, because that's when they start giving you the details here and there. And I'm like, oh, okay, that. And then once it came and they said what was going on, I was like, I've been checked out already. And they keep saying very, very silly COVID things, like where's your mask? Oh my God. Like people losing their damn minds. Like, we're all in Chicago. I don't think people were like crazy like how some of these other people are like losing their minds.
Man, you should have seen it down here.
Yeah.
You should have seen it down here. If like I remember, I heard like something going on outside my door. I stuck my head out. There was a woman walking down the hall. She goes, "Where's your mask?" I'm like, "Don't worry about where my friggin' mask is."
But wait. But Brandon, what the level we're talking about will be like someone getting stabbed right when you're looking, and you're trying to save her and saying, "But you need a mask on. I can't save you without the mask." It's that stupid.
I got you.
Yeah,
like
but that also
it's to a different level of it.
Yeah, that part I know what you're saying. Kind of played into the other stuff. I don't want to get too spoilery, because at first you're like, like that happened. I'm like, what? Like somebody's gonna die, but you're asking about a mask and it's not safe. But it was, but
I think all those things should have been like warning signs, and she got none of them, and it just felt like you don't deserve to be the one that lives.
Yeah.
You don't deserve. Like, come on, everyone else should be living, not you. That's stupid.
But it did take a lot of the things like it did take some things where I think everyone kind of dealt with it, where the guy was standing in line and somebody coughs and they all like look like, I'm like, okay, that's happened. You're at Target and somebody like coughs and everyone like stares at you. So that was kind of funny. There are some good parts. Stuff like that. If you want to get into some of the, well, before we get into the good, Tony said the killer couldn't catch two people running barefoot. True. And one of them had a broken leg. The best thing about the movie is the chase scene. More horror films need chase scenes. The chase scene was pretty good. It was entertaining.
No, she was. That was the smartest thing she did ever. She was like, "Well, I'm not going to be. I can't out chase you right now, so I'm just going to push off on this barge and paddle to safety." But then she couldn't see the killer, and he just swam right next to her, like. Just like what? There's I'll give you one good part and then one bad part. Like, why is he? He's swimming right next to her the whole entire time.
She gets out in the water, and I forget if he was on one of those like big wooden island things that they make, or if it was part of the little barge she was on.
It's all like the dock. It was a movable dock.
Yeah. And once she gets out, then she starts stabbing from underneath. I was like, what? Like, how's he breathing? Like, it was literally a sweater and like a cheapy ski mask, So it's like, I don't know. But the chase scene was fun enough for what the movie was.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun enough. Sick as a Walmart bid movie, 100%, or Tubi, or Peacock. It coming out on Peacock, I think is the best place they could have done. If I was told to go see this in the theater, I would have been.
Oh my god, we would have had a fight on screen.
Yeah. So some of the good things, like Horror Geek said, the chase scene was entertaining. It was fun. It was a good chase scene. It still had some of the tropes. So the killings, I thought some of the killings were well done, especially in a slasher movie. You need to have good kills. There were some good kills in this one. There weren't a lot of kills, but the few that there were pretty damn good. They like they're not the best ever, but there's the one happens and I was like, ooh, like, even like I pulled back a little bit. I was like, damn, okay, like but yeah, the killings were pretty good too. I don't know. What about you, Brian?
I was yelling at the whole movie the whole time. I was just like, that's stupid, that's stupid, that's stupid. The killer, even when he was like I don't want to tell you what they were doing, but it was like, why are you doing that? It made no sense to me why you were doing it at all. And at the end, not even at the end, when we find out who the bad people are and why they're doing it, I felt like that was so stupid. It was the most idiotic thing and idiotic reason I've ever seen in any movie ever. And I've seen a lot of stupid movies. M. Night Shyamalan's made a lot of movies, guys. So I'm just saying that this takes the cake.
Yeah, it was a bad twist. A bad twist. But yeah. I mean, the good stuff wasn't some of those things, some of those really horror tropes I can look past if other things are good. If it's a good ending, like scary movies, horror movies, and you have a good ending. This ending just completely like, it crapped out so bad.
Yeah.
I think if the ending was good, I could have looked past some of the other silly stuff. But there's a chunk in this movie where the girls are just talking and hanging out, and you're literally watching two 23-year-old girls talk. And I'm like, what? It's like reality TV for a little bit, and some of it becomes important later, but at the time you're like, I'm bored, I'm checked out. Like, I'm not watching reality TV. So, but it was legit. Like 21, 23. They were in college. Girls just talking as friends.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, cool. It's boring. What are you doing? I don't care. So.
And it's not like they were in a log cabin. It was a log cabin, but it was like a $5 million log cabin. It's like, so what $5 million log cabin doesn't have an alarm system on it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many plot holes. It started to be mind-boggling. It was like watching Swiss cheese, and I was just like, all right,
like that.
It's crazy. I was like, all right, come on, man. Let's just get to the rating.
So I don't want to show that one, Tony, because that's a little bit of a spoiler. But if you're watching live and you can see the chat, then yeah, that was definitely a reason why that person got killed.
He deserved it.
Yeah. But let's get into the ratings. So over here at the Spoiler Kings, we rank things a little bit different, a little bit easier. We just keep it nice and simple. Now, later, and never. Now means you have to go check it out right now, or else you're gonna miss out on something. Something's gonna get spoiled. Later means you can wait till it's out on streaming. You can wait till you're doing the dishes, throw it on in the background. And never means do not watch this movie. Do not kill your brain cells. Brian, what are you giving Sick?
So normally, like us as Spoiler Kings, we make the other person go watch it, no matter what. And the words I literally said to Brandon were, there's no need for you to ever watch this in your life, ever. So that's what I feel like. I feel like this movie is just, I knew it was going to be campy. I knew it was a slasher film, but I felt like it just had no good plot at all. So I'm putting it as a super never. Like, if you were on an airplane, stuck in the airplane for like 6 hours, and the only movie they had was this, I'll tell you to go read a book. Watch it. Read a pamphlet. Like, do something else. Anything else.
Yeah.
So yes, super never.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't give that many. I don't think us as a channel give many nevers. This is a never for me too, man. Like, if you want to watch a good horror thriller slasher movie, this one might not be it. Probably go watch
Scream.
The first Scream. Go watch the last Scream. I thought the last Scream was better than this, and I wasn't a big fan of that one either. But this one's a never, man. It just, by the time it got good, there's a good chance you probably already checked out of the movie. If I didn't force myself to watch it, I probably would have turned it off. Honestly, I probably would have turned it off before it got quote unquote good. But it is what it is. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man. Like I said, we hardly ever give any nevers.
Exactly.
We usually find things that we like about the movie. We're like, oh, it was okay.
My wife literally turned over and pulled the cover over her in bed 3 times. Like, she just wrapped herself in a little cocoon. She was like, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. No, I'm done. I don't even want to see the light of the TV. It was that bad. It was so bad. I'm so disappointed. And I was hoping that just for a nice campy slasher film, and we got crap.
Yeah. really disappointed. Then Planet Fanatics, what is up? Planet Fanatics,
what's going on?
By, man? Thank you. But yeah. So another thing that got me was the Rotten Tomatoes score. So Rotten Tomatoes, we got I'll do the audience first. 67% with the audience. And I'm like, I'm about there, maybe a little bit less. I'm 50 to 60-ish. 67 is maybe being a little bit more generous, but
I'm more like 57, 47.
47? I don't know. But the critics, so there's 53 critics that did this movie. 87%. That is technically certified fresh.
for this freaking movie.
And I do not get it. But if you look at some of the other IMDb is a 6.1. There's a few other ones I saw that were fairly mid-ish, mid-level. It I think Google had it around somewhere in the mids. Google is 8. Well, take the back. Google's 82. Letterbox was about 3 out of 5 ish around there.
That's about right.
But 80% on Google. I don't know, man. I don't know what they're watching. But even Tony said it. Yeah, Sick will be forgotten. It will.
I don't think people ever give it a chance. I'm gonna say it only had 55 reviews, so I don't think the critics were even watching it. Honestly.
Yeah, like the big name critics. Nah,
they're watching it like while they're doing dishes too.
Yeah, I'm looking at the critics, and there's not like a big one. Looper, I guess maybe. Real Film Reviews, Rolling Stone, but Rolling Stone gave it a bad review, so that counts. A lot of them are like, Clapper, I guess, also gave it a bad one, but yeah, there's just, I mean, one person, this HollywoodInTotal.com said balanced commentary, sharp thrills make pandemic themed shocker soar. 3 out of 4, and I think that's what it also. This movie, like Sick, like what Tony said, Sick will be forgotten. Same thing like COVID, man. People don't want to be reminded of that shit. It's like, and I get people still want to talk about, like that's why if a comedian starts off their comedy show about talking about COVID, I'm done. I'm like, dude, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it anymore, man. Like I don't care. And this one literally, the pandemic plays a role in the movie, so I think dating a movie to something that happens in a time frame in the real world kind of makes the movie not have legs. You know what I mean? So like Chucky, yeah, it was made in the 80s, but you know what? Kids still have toys. Kids will always have toys, and that's the kind of the theme of that. It's like a killer kid toy, which is why Megan did well, and Megan was beloved because it's the same thing. It's a kid toy. This is like, oh yeah, 20 years from now, people are not going to be talking about this. Like, oh, remember that movie about the pandemic? 20 years later, people are still talking about Scream. So things are a little bit different. There's
Tony is hilarious. Tony's hilarious.
If Sick pops up on BT, I wouldn't even be mad. I'll see it on Telemundo on the Saturday.
Oh man, exactly. Saturday at 2 a.m. You'll see on Telemundo.
Yeah. But, so that's our thoughts. Some of the critics,
Guys,
I don't know.
Let us watch this for you, so you don't have to. That's all we're saying. You don't have to waste your time. Don't do it, please. I appreciate people coming in. Usually I say I want to hear everyone's comment. I do want to hear. I only want to hear the people that think it's good. I want to know exactly why. So maybe I'm seeing it wrong. Maybe I just don't know slasher films but well enough. Maybe something I just don't understand. I want you to explain to me like I'm a child, please. I'm asking for it. I'm literally asking for it. If I get it, it is what it is. I'm asking for it. Thank you. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I kind of grew up on horror, grew up on slashers, campy, all that stuff. And this, I can appreciate a good bad film. This is just a bad film. So
exactly.
Yeah. And then there you go. Knox said, "Thanks for the warning. You're welcome. Say, go watch something else. Go watch something else. I heard enough to skip it." There you go. So there you go. So that's our kind of rant on this one. A rare all around never, which that doesn't happen, man.
That doesn't happen. We like movies.
Even if somebody doesn't like it, somebody else will find something like about it. So but like Brian said, if you liked it, let us know. Let us know what you liked about it or what we're wrong about. I'm always up for like seeing things differently. But I think that's gonna be it for this movie Sick. It's streaming on Peacock, so at least you don't have to spend extra money to go see it.
Hey, I do gotta say one thing good about it. It's only an hour and 20 minutes, so you're not gonna waste your time.
It is
80
a
minutes,
short film,
and you're out. If those 80 minutes, 50 of the minutes, you can pretty write yourself. Just saying.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, it was a short movie. But cool. We appreciate everyone hanging out with us. If you're live, appreciate all you guys, all the comments and stuff like that. Stick around. We got to do some other stuff. If you're watching on replay, appreciate you guys. Make sure you all hit that like and subscribe button. We're on our way to 1,000 subscribers. That's the next big goal. So make sure you share, tell your friends, all that good stuff. But leave a comment as well. But we are going to move on to another topic for the night.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Yeah.
Sorry, I hope I wasn't too negative, but I'm just saying it was not good.
No, it was hard to it was hard to watch, man.
Yeah,
it was hard.
Why hold back?
It was hard to watch
because that's usually you that goes crazy on it.
Yeah. We'll save you the headache. But Zach, like I said, shout out to Zach. Go watch his review. He liked it. He had very, very different views and opinions than we did. So you want to see somebody else's different take on it? Check out Zach Attack Reviews.
Yeah.
But I
would have been disappointed. I would have been disappointed if I made Brandon go watch this movie and he came back and said, "Really, Brian?" I would have felt disappointed in myself. I would look at myself like I'm a terrible friend. How dare I do this?
I do appreciate that.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if I could sleep at night letting
you watch this movie.
Hey, thank you, Xavier. Appreciate for the sub, man. Thank you.
Thank you for the sub.
Yeah, man. So
guys, I'll be right back.
All right, I'm just going for it, man. All right.
What?
So before we're gonna watch a couple trailers and then we're gonna talk about Last of Us. What time is it? We'll watch for sure one trailer.
Yeah, let's do one trailer and do Last of Us because I'm afraid Last of Us might take off.
Oh yeah, we definitely really gotta keep it.
Yeah.
Who said keep Taika on a short leash? That's what we need to do when we start talking about stuff we like.
We finished it, and Brandon has like 8 more great things to say about it. And most of it is really good. It's just he knows things that honestly I don't know, and I'm like, wow, that's great. But we finished this like 15 minutes ago.
Yeah. keep the conversation going. But yeah, and then Last of Us is definitely one of those things. I don't think it's a spoiler saying it's good. It's great. It's really amazing. But
it didn't feel that long. Let's not talk about it.
No.
Let's not talk about
but,
it.
I heard a lot I was watching John Campea, I was watching Denim Nerds, I was watching a bunch of other people talk about it, and everybody has said it was 55 minutes long, and that was the quickest 55 minutes ever, which is true because I felt like I just sat down and it was over, and I was like, oh my god, like
I literally looked at my clock and I was like, when did it become midnight?
Yeah.
It's been on for 25 minutes and then it's over. What do you mean it's over?
Yeah. It was really, really good, really quick. But that's how it's a good story. When a good story like catches you and it's like it's over and you're like, wait, it just started, and you're like 2 hours later. You're like, damn.
Exactly.
Yeah. Playing Fanatic said, I'm behind, still haven't had time to watch it. Dude, man.
That's you know why? You wanna know why? Because you do 4-hour streams every day, all the time. And you catch me all the time. I'm like sitting here and I'm just like, I have to check out, see what they're doing. And then like 3 hours later, I'm like, am I still listening? It's like, you always catch me doing it too, man.
Yeah. It's always fun to watch. Well, yeah. Thank you, Xavier. Appreciate that, man. For subbing. Don't get that Ellie hate. Yep. Don't get on her bad side. For sure. Xavier 100. Appreciate it. And laughs. Yep. Like
dude. Literally, you literally can't. I'm sitting here watching the Star Wars stream, and I text Tank like, look, I've been sitting here watching the Star Wars stream for 2 hours. We were supposed to be talking about something totally different, and I'm sitting watching and answering these questions like, man, I'm driving, so I can't text it in. So that's why I called Tanks to make sure he can.
I had when you had texted, I had just got home. And we run some errands, grocery shopping and stuff like that. So we had just got home, and you had sent that. I'm like, and you're like, oh man, these questions. I'm like, oh shit, what is he talking about? And that's when I clicked in, and it was like right away. It was like all the. But man, yeah, he was bringing up some Star Wars trivia, and you
I was screaming in my car like, I know this one. I know this one.
You're doing like text to chat, and it's just like a bunch of screaming letters.
Exactly.
That's too funny.
It says NQXXX. I was like, all right, man. Tank, you gotta get on that.
Yeah. But usually I watch it because in the morning when I'm at work, there's no one really. John Campea for us is like midday around noontime. And I'll throw an earbud in and listen to him, and and I know like playing Fanatics, there's sometimes I'm like, oh, that's a good point. Sometimes I'm like, what are you on, man? Like, what? Sometimes they say some shit and I'm like, like that, but sometimes they say some good things and I'm like,
that's why I like them.
Agree. Yeah.
I just want things that make you think, that you don't just like follow everything because that's what it's supposed to be. I want you to be able to think about what you're talking about. And if you agree, you think away, say it. And let's talk about it and be open to the discussion. That's kind of what it should be. I'm not afraid to say anything, obviously. I say all type of crazy stuff all the time. But I'm open to the discussion about everything. I don't have to be right. I just, this is my opinion. And at least it starts the conversation. I think that's the ideal thing. You want to start the conversation, especially with people who actually like the genre, who actually pay attention, who read comic books, who loves the movies. Mm-hmm. That's what you really want. You want to talk with someone who does those type of things. So hearing your opinion is good enough for me.
Yeah.
Especially if you're open up to listen.
Yeah, you can have two complete, because like a great example was like me and you last week with what was that show? Mayfair Witch. When that elevator opened, you said you knew that was going to happen, and that was completely opposite. I'm like, I had no idea it was going to happen. And we watched the same thing, and we were both just on different levels of like expectations and stuff like that. We both enjoyed it, I think. But yeah, it was just like crazy. Like, we watched the same thing, and we just had different,
different viewpoints. Yeah. And that's what it is. When you want to go to a show, you want to go to online, you want to hear someone's opinion. You want to hear these multiple opinions, and it might not be one of your own. But hearing it, at least having something to back it, is what you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but Campbell does that a lot. But then in Nerds too, like he, like I think on Twitter he put out, he goes, "Oh, I'm not watching Game of Thrones. They're both in Game of Thrones. I'm not watching Last of Us because it's too sad." I'm like, what? Like, of course, it is, man.
The name of the show is Last of Us.
It's like I'm not gonna watch Terminator because it gets a little violent. Like, well, then what? Like, what are you talking about?
I'm not gonna watch Terminator because they get terminated. He's getting terminated.
Did you expect the Terminator and the T-1000 to be sitting by the campfire singing Barney's "I love you, you love me" or what?
Yeah, he turns into the liquid Terminator into the Barney, the liquid Barney. But but I was like, but that's a good thing though. Like, if a show or movie makes you feel a certain way, either anger or passion or sadness, happy, then it's doing its job. Like, there's movies that you want to feel angry about. Either the character, Joffrey's a good one in Game of Thrones. Like, you hated him, like, but then there's other things where, like, this one, you're gonna feel sad, but it's sadness for like lost ones, for loss of humanity in each other and in yourselves and stuff like that. So, I think it's good when it comes to stuff like that. So, like, if you feel a certain way, then there's a good chance the movie did what it was supposed to do, or the show, like the story did right. But
hey, I agree with Playing Fanatics right here.
Yeah. So he said, yeah, John's a good guy. He can spew up some shit sometimes. Overall, John has good points, topics, and for his show. Disagreeing with John is inevitable. Exactly. That is.
He's like Thanos. He's like Thanos.
Yeah.
That's what he's inevitable.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
However, simply the blueprint, it comes to a complete YouTube show. Yeah. Yeah. I've always been a fan. He came in this show a couple times, twice.
Yeah.
In Spoiler Kings. And I've been watching him for a long since the AMC days. He's been fun, and he even says, some people think like movies aren't art or whatever you think, but it's something that people are gonna have different opinions on. So if people have different opinions on, then it's something that not everyone's gonna agree with, and you're gonna have some arguing, and disagreements, and that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. That's why sometimes I'm afraid, like when we all like one thing, I was like, when we're in our little echo chamber, I'm like, was it really good, or are we just all on like too much of the same stuff?
Well, it's very rare that all three of us have the same. It's very rare that all three of us have the same opinion. So
sometimes I think more.
Brandon likes often. Everything unless he hates it. If Brandon hates something, you will know. Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah,
it's true.
Perp in the house. Black Summer season 1 made me very angry, but it was very entertaining while watching it. Which one was Black Summer? I'm gonna brain fart. I gotta look that one up. But that's what it is. If it's meant to make you angry, then it did its job. Because if you're angry and entertained, then that's definitely, I think, what it wanted to do. Probably. Agree to that plan for next. I disagree with John about half of the time, but he does run a well-oiled machine. Yeah, and it's fairly fun. A fun show.
He gives you different views. He gets different opinions. I love the way he does it. Honestly, I feel like the live show, having segments in a live show, is the best thing to do.
Yeah, and having because they have the three main people, and then plus the host, the other person, and there's times they have different opinions. There's like what are you talking about? It's gonna be a great movie, and they're like, nah, it's gonna suck. Stuff like that. So, but they don't like hate each other. It's what it is. Okay, I finally said, yep, agree with Xavier. Other than John being a Canadian, he's a cool guy. Nice.
Oh man,
where's where are you gonna get where's Chillmonger at?
Chillmonger come in like what?
I heard my Canadian tingles.
No, we're talking about
my Tim Hortons were calling. So Sergio from House of Nerd Show too.
House of Nerd Show,
yeah. I miss him, man. I've been on the lookout for him. Hopefully he comes back
check
soon.
him out. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Black.
I got all these indie comics. I got to see if he listened to. Hey, I would have got Blackula, right?
Did you get it?
I got it.
I'm gonna
be reading it. Well, I'm stuck in Denver. I'm gonna be sitting here at nighttime reading it right now.
Yeah, yeah, I gotta check that out. Nice. But yeah, Black Summer is a zombie show on Netflix. Okay, I like a good zombie show. Damn. What do we do?
What do we do to you? I love Canadians personally. Don't worry about it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start saying that at the end of every show, "Good night, Canada." I wish I had a camera. I had a flag. I'll do that every night. Like, "Good night, Canada."
Oh man,
one of my favorite places to visit.
Yeah. Well, so I know Brian for sure watched How I Met Your Father. I don't know, Brandon, if you ever watched it like that.
I've watched a couple episodes. It's okay.
So one of the guys, Neil Patrick Harris's character, Barney, is always makes fun of Colby Smolder's character because she's Canadian. So he goes, and he's like, making fun of her.
How I Met Your Mother.
How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I did watch How I Met Your Mother.
Okay. Yeah. So Barney always makes fun of Robin about being Canadian, and then like you find out that he's part Canadian.
He's part Canadian.
So, so when my girlfriend was getting her master's degree, she did one of the elective classes was genealogy. So it was kind of hard on her side, so she wound up doing it on my side, and then she found out on my mother's side, you know, we came from Canada, so she's like, "You're Canadian."
Oh.
Oh, I know exactly where. Me and Brandon are gonna save up and buy you your costume for Halloween. I got it. I got it,
Mr.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So I think it's like my mom's great grandfather.
Hey,
or
something like Dudley that Do Right. Dudley Do Right will be his Halloween costume. It's happening. I'm about to get ordered right now.
So every so often she'll throw that at me. She goes, "Yeah, you're Canadian." It's like, shut up. So, perfect.
So,
yeah, being on
YouTube. I think way too.
Yeah. What are you thinking Rebel Moon is going to be? I know it's the idea Zach took from Lucasfilm. Yeah, they said yeah. So you took it from Netflix and now Rebel Moon. What is this? Yeah, we got a few pictures from it, but I'm curious enough. Because it's basically a failed Star Wars story.
Yeah,
or rejected
the
Star Wars
synopsis.
Story.
Yeah.
Perfect laugh.
But where do you think this Rebel Moon is going to be?
What do you mean?
So location wise, where's this?
Oh,
Rebel
they already
Moon
said like out. They already said it's the outer rim of outer space. I was like, where else have we heard outer rims? You know, it's like I think they already said it's gonna be like far out reaches of our space.
Planet Martha.
It's just spelled like different.
I was thinking, what's the planet that they had all the Sith Lords that no one ever could find?
Oh my God! I'm trying to forget that from Skywalker Return.
From Skywalker, yeah. So what? Why not? Why couldn't it be there?
Exegol.
Because we heard about it before in different places, but never to that extent. But my point is that usually a rebel base is somewhere close to something that's powerful. I can see that. So and it's Zack Snyder. So expect the biggest, craziest mess of stuff.
Yeah. I think there's going to be people with powers for sure. I think.
I'm interested to be, in all fairness to Zack Snyder, I'm kind of interested to see what it looks like from a visual standpoint. He's always been great with that, you know. So
he's amazing.
I'm curious to see, you know, all my joking and teasing of him aside, I am interested to see like how that what it looks like. I know it's Sophia Boutella is the lead, so you know, yeah, it's something but it's gonna be on Netflix, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah. Low key looks like a high budget sci-fi movie. It is gonna. They put a lot of money in it. I know that.
I think Zack Snyder is going to make it pretty good. He does.
It's all in slow mo.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He does good ideas.
At least 20%.
Yeah.
I think if he's not ruining characters, it could still be a decent enough idea.
Mm.
You know, so maybe he does okay. Maybe Star Wars messes up. Maybe Star Wars messes up, and people start loving his stuff more than anything else. And then we have to get him to remake Star Wars.
See, but so he doesn't do a bad job when he takes somebody else's
idea. When he doesn't have to think about something.
I'm not a big fan of the Watchmen movie because it went kind of a little bit too far away from the comic book. The show I thought was pretty good, but the movie was still good enough. It was also like what,
the movie was
3
fine.
hours long. It was good.
The movie was fine.
Yeah, I mean,
the
Dawn
movie
of the
was
Dead,
fine.
You know, another zombie movie he took from somewhere else. All the DC stuff. You know, 300 is one of my favorite movies, but it's just like beat for beat. There's copy and paste from the comic.
It was a translation. rather than an adaptation.
Yeah,
of the
Sucker
comic.
Punch is his thing, and now the people, it's not good. It's like pretty to look at,
Yeah.
super pretty to look at, not good.
I'm not.
If
I'm
it's
not
rated
sure what he was.
MA, if it's rated MA, if Rebel Moon is rated MA, this might, just like they're saying, might be one of those great movies.
It's rated R, it might be lit.
I-
If it's rated
I think
R,
it-
I think it'd be okay.
I
MA.
want him to go all out. I want him to go all out, crazy.
Because I think for MA you have to have some nudity, or you have to have more nudity than R. Because I think R has a certain amount, and then MA is like, I think it needs to go either like every other word is like the F bomb, and there's just a lot of nudity. I think I could be wrong on the rating system.
I could go R.
Cough DC. Yeah. Yeah, Romo sounds like a cheap beer from the 90s.
It does,
You know what?
doesn't
I'm
it?
not, there's probably a drink
Holy
called
crap,
Romo.
it sure does.
There's probably a drink called Romo.
I didn't even think about that.
Exactly. If it's a rated R Star Wars type of movie, I can like it. I can see it.
I'm excited enough about it because at the very least, like Brandon said, it's gonna look pretty. It's gonna look pretty.
Can he use the word the Force? Will he be able to use that word?
Hold on. What's a good synonym
For force? He's gonna call it.
Let me look up some good ones. Strength, power, energy, might.
The might. You will use the might of your mind. The might of your mind,
Impact.
guys. That's what happened. The push.
The push.
We
Pressure,
already did that.
Impact. Movie. Yeah.
I'm saying the might of your mind. I can see it.
Influence. Influence might be good. Like use your influence. Yeah. I don't know.
Man.
Yeah. The might is good.
Lucasfilms would blow ish up. Oh man, you ever see that episode of Simpsons when Bill Gates comes to like buy out Homer and he just comes and just breaks everything and just says, "I bought you out."
Uh-huh.
That's what
that's what it was.
do.
Yeah.
They'll come in and just destroy everything and say, "Yeah, you've been bought out. Get out."
Yeah. Yeah. He starts like breaking everything. Yeah. I mean, isn't that what Disney did to Lucasfilm? They're like, and we own you, and start breaking shit. Here's no book.
This is exactly what happened.
Yeah. An R-rated Star Wars movie, yes, please. Yeah, I like that. I'll be cool with that. Overhyped cologne. Overhyped cologne. Rebel Moon. Smell like trash. Could possibly steal spiritual pressure from Bleach. Ooh, oh man, that might be a little too on the nose though. I can see maybe something like that. Maybe pressure, maybe just pressure. I can see that. Use your pressure. I don't know. But it looks fun. Would never
use your spiritual might. Ooh,
source,
I like
yeah.
the source.
Yeah, yeah. The
Use
mouse house
your-
ain't having it either. Nah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Use your power from the force, from the source, not
From the
force.
source.
From the source.
I mean,
Use the source, Luke. Use the source.
That sounds like something from Spaceballs.
Right?
That's
I just think the same thing, or like some kind of spoof.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's great.
Definitely.
Use the
Yeah.
source. I'm all for it.
When is that coming out though? At the end of the year, right?
I think they said like the very end of the year.
Yeah, end of 2023.
So yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, December 2023. Holy shit.
I mean, we're gonna get so much Star Wars before that, and I hope it's all good. And I hope they visit the Dark Realm. I hope Ahsoka is good. I hope they really go through the Star Wars lore and give us all the stuff we've been looking for, and that they've already done, that it's already written. So just put that in there.
Yeah.
Don't F it up. Ahsoka should be should be lit. It should be unbelievable.
Oh, I hope so.
You
It
you have
should be.
so much to go with it. I mean, I cannot wait. And it's good to have you want to have the Force. You want to have Star Wars like things, not following necessarily the whole saga of the Skywalker. So let's get away from the Skywalker saga, but still give us everything we need.
Yeah. I think we're with you, Planet Fanatics.
I'm inclined to say the same thing.
I don't think it will, man.
I don't think they could. How you could do it? The way they're supposed to be doing this,
don't underestimate Disney. but
Disney's like, hold my beer. I can do this. I can disappoint you just as much as you don't think I can.
Yeah, we're gonna kill Ahsoka right away.
Oh my God! No, why would you just say that? Oh my God!
Oh man,
it's a show that you shouldn't be able to mess up. They have 20 years of books.
Put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Yeah, there you go. But
you shouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah, I want Star Wars Visions. The only Star Wars content we're getting that feels new. Visions was good. Season 1 was so good. I really loved it. It was so good. Like you said, very different, but it felt Star Wars. You know, like the twins, the twin one. I love that style of animation. It was just so over the top. It was really cool. It was the samurai one. I mean, obviously they went crazy with that, with all the figurines and statues with the samurai one, but really good. Filoni loves that character too much to let her fail. Like, no, 100%. Even when he first introduced her and no one liked her, he was like, no. You're gonna like her. I'm gonna make sure you like her. You know what I mean? And then eventually, like, everyone loved her towards the end, you know, at the end. So
they're like, no, you're not looking at her right. It's great. Trust me, she's the greatest. Yeah. You want great Jedi. You want this. This is what you want, guys. Trust me.
Filoni used the source on us. No. You're gonna like.
I am going to like. You're right.
The 9th Jedi story was genius. Which one was the 9th one? Because I didn't watch it in one day. I watched it like throughout.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the
week to week.
I remember the characters, the different characters in it. But yeah. Visions. We're getting season 2. I know this year sometime.
Yep.
We more villain stories. The Sith always been more interesting to me than Jedi. Yeah, very, very much so. I think the Acolyte is supposed to be more through the eyes of the Sith, from what I understand. So, as a diehard Star Wars fan, I can never say I'll be done. But if they mess it up, I'll walk away from Disney Star Wars. But this is Dave Filoni, and next to George is next best.
Yeah, so easy. He literally should be running Star Wars. We talked about this before.
We talked about it before, yeah.
This to be the Filoniverse. He should be running Star Wars. He cares enough about the characters. They should give them everything they actually need. He should be doing all these things, and I trust him.
Yeah,
I don't trust him to run on the business side, but just let him run the creative side and let him learn, grow into the job, and we get greatness out of it.
You said Filoni's the next best thing next to George, you know, because George taught him everything, you know, and I still never forget, you know, Bryce Dallas Howard in that panel, because Bryce Dallas Howard is basically family to George Lucas. You know, I think that's his godfather, or stuff together. She told Filoni, like, he thought of you as the son he never had, and Filoni damn near cried on stage in front of hundreds of people, live streamed all that shit. I was like, I mean, that's
I mean,
insane, I can't.
That is some cold stuff to tell you, though. You can't just say that.
Well, yeah, but you know, I think our vibes we're putting out in the universe, you know, our positive thinking is KK's gone after Indiana Jones.
Yep.
Like a month after Indiana Jones is released, she's gone, and then we want Filoni and Favreau to be in charge. And then Favreau is gone within 3 to 5 years, and then Filoni.
And let Filoni just go on his way and do what he needs to do for the universe, for the Star Wars verse, and we'll start getting some good content, some really good content that's always been there.
Yeah. What if they do for new trilogy going beyond the Skywalkers, where instead of a Jedi being the main character, it is a Sith or dark side user? Oh, I would love that, man. I would love that, because right now we don't have a Sith Lord. Go 100 years in the future, and the Jedi are getting rebuilt. You know, they nice little rebuilt, and then somebody finds a Sith Lord or some like holocron or something evil, and then they're like, oh, there's another way, so you kind of like, to him, the Jedi are bad because they're keeping away information, and then they become a Sith. I can 100% see that, man. Go 100 years down the road, and let's do that.
What are some things
like that?
What are there some themes in Ahsoka that you really need to see? Like, I mean, we're gonna get Thrawn, we're gonna get certain things, but are there certain themes in Ahsoka that you really need to see for it to be a good show?
Man, I mean, Ezra, because
Ezra and Thrawn had to be in it. So yeah, okay,
yeah, they got to be, because Thrawn is a big enough bad guy where he could be a movie bad guy, and Ezra is a Jedi. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, and we're in this part of the universe where Grogu's in there, and Ezra. So like, let's bring him back in. I mean, that's really all I care for, man. Sabine, I want to see the Rebels characters pretty much, because it should be a continuation of Rebels.
Do you want to see the world between worlds or anything like that?
I think they're going to get to that. I think they have to.
But so that's a theme that we need to see.
Yeah. Because that could be the world between worlds, could be Filoni's, thinking 20 years down the road of like, this is how I can rewrite the wrongs KK did.
That's what I want. I want if you go there.
You were saying that last time.
That's such a big idea. I hope that they do that. They don't mess that up. That's what I really hope.
Yeah. Was that panel when Dave speaks about Qui-Gon, Anakin, etc. gives me goosebumps every time. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Where it's on it's a saved video on my YouTube channel, and since it's saved, the algorithm knows. So anytime there's a short, like it recommends that short. So I always see it. Because that would be dope. Yeah, thank you, Zach. Thank you. Yeah. I love the Sith are cool, man. I would love to see a good Sith one. I would personally love more Sith focused stories. That's what I'm really hoping.
But that's a good way. Really, but that's a good way to bring those things in. Having a Sith fake, and make it understand that you need both. This world has to be balanced.
Exactly. Right now the Force is not balanced. Which is my biggest aggravation with it, is like, you're left with one person, and she's obviously more light side. There needs to be balance. Like, where is it? Where's her evil version? You know what I mean? So, because you can get away with Anakin killing all the Jedi because you're like, yeah, he's bringing balance to the Force. He's bringing a handful of good guys and just the two bad guys. So yeah, it's more balanced. Now it's 1 and 0. Like, that's not balanced. So I don't know. Absolutely. Worlds Between Worlds to start. Yeah, yep. And I think live action, that would be pretty cool looking too.
I think it'd be amazing looking. I think that I would love to see it. It makes so much sense personally. I would love to see that.
Yeah. Can't wait to see what they do with the Acolyte. Hopefully they don't mess it up. That's same, man. I'm pretty excited about it, but also kind of scared because they don't have a good track record. They do not have a good track. But so far the cast is pretty good. I'm cool with the cast. Also, he said it's not time travel. Yeah, they have to explain how it works in the show. Yeah, because he did say it's not because
there's going to be different, and there's going to be different versions of the same character. It's very similar to like a multiverse, but they have to explain this very well and be very careful to not have people feel like it's too much like Marvel. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because they're focusing so much on the multiverse. Not that Star Wars didn't already have it, but you got to be careful because it's the same parent company to not have people feel like, especially the people that have no idea about what's going on, feel like you're focusing on like Marvel personally.
If like you gotta bring it in, it has to make sense to the people who didn't watch the cartoons, because there's a lot of people like my mom, like, it's a cartoon, I don't care about it, but I'm like, yeah, but it's important to the story. But she's like, whatever, which a lot of people are like that. So it is the logo for her show is the world between worlds, kind of all the circles and stuff like that. Yeah. Agreed. So it's got to make sense, but also it's got to not feel cheap. Because sometimes you could do stuff like that and bring in a multiverse or time travel, and sometimes it's just like a cop out. You know, you're
Yep.
like, this is how we fix it, and it's just, yeah, it's cool,
Or
but it's just
or do what Star Wars always does because of the Force.
Because of the Force.
No, explain. We have books behind it. Just use some of that story and let's use the books to get it. This is what we really need.
No, hopefully, I think Brandon might hit the wrong button. Yeah,
that's all right. I mean, we've been talking Star Wars. See,
I know.
That's another rabbit hole. It's another rabbit hole. You start getting us to stuff.
It started with Rebel Moons. That's not even a Star Wars thing. It's a rejected Star Wars storyline that we just went down that rabbit hole.
You go down that rabbit hole, and then next you know that we're going to talk about all these things.
Yeah,
we love everything, all things Star Wars.
Yeah.
Oh man,
yeah, we do love. Yeah, man, I love Star Wars. I mean, it's something I grew up on with my grandfather, and it's just something that's always been around. Like I want a big tattoo, you know, like for the longest, I'm like, I want one leg to be all dark side stuff and the other leg to be all light side stuff. Like the entire leg, you know, from ankle to as high in the thigh as I can go, you know. So it just
I need my own territory, but I'm not fine. I get a little little moon right here, you know. I'll give you a little planet right here. But that's not what you're gonna get out of me, man. I don't like pain.
No. A tattoo's a good pain. It's a.
There's no such thing as good pain. The older I get, the more I realize.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Oh, he froze up. So he comes back and says the rumor is they're supposed to be recreating Twilight.
Rumor is they're supposed to be recreating Twilight of the Apprentice in the show also.
Twilight Apprentice of the Apprentice. Well, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one. That's definitely. Can't wait to see Star Wars and Kingdom Hearts. God.
Oh, Kingdom Hearts is awesome.
Seth Rogen versus Vader. Oh my god! Yeah. Just saying it felt stupid. Just.
That sounds like sometimes when I'm watching my PS2. Look, if we don't talk about The Last of Us, we're not going to get through this. Yeah, so let's go ahead and start watching some Last of Us.
Let's finish it off. Yeah.
I would like to go to bed after this.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm in Denver, man. This whatever.
You're an hour back,
it's
right?
10:00.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into this Last of Us. Get going. We probably keep it under 30. I think last time we kept it under 20. No, we didn't. Never mind. We can keep it under 30. All right.
Let's speak into reality. Let's go.
Yeah. All right. Welcome to the Spoiler Kings. My name is St. Kramer with Brandman Brandon and Brian the Grizzly who's over there.
What's up, guys?
What's up? So we just got episode 2 of Last of Us streaming now on HBO Max. Oh man, go check out our episode 1 kind of discussion review breakdown that we did. Because that one we definitely have some really positive feelings on it. This one picks up right where that one left off. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Can I ask a question before we start all this stuff? Did anyone else feel emotionally drained? Like it was so much emotion, and like I see it coming, and I'm just like, oh. Yeah. And I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it, but it is really tugging at my heartstrings. Just really.
Yeah, well, I can see that.
Yeah, true to form. The game did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You're 100% right, Brandon. Like, but this it's doing such a good job of taking the best parts of the game and making it into movie form. And I'm okay with some of the things they're changing too. Honestly,
yeah,
some of them made more sense in this show. Are we talking spoilers or not spoilers?
We'll go full on spoilers. Full on spoilers.
I just want to say, the idea that the fungus, you can touch something on a fungus from a mile away, and then 5 miles down the street, it would know immediately, is genius.
It makes sense.
Genius.
It makes sense. Yeah.
I loved that. So, yeah. I just want to start off with that. Go ahead, Brandon. You go ahead and talk about what your thing.
Yes, sir.
No, it just really ran with like the tone that the first episode set. In terms of, like you said, like the raw emotion, the kind of the desperation of the situation, how how futile everything kind of feels overall. They're doing really, really good capturing that. I'm really hoping this is the template for video game adaptations, basically adapting the entire thing, or like the it as a whole, making some changes that kind of work in the narrative sense for a TV show or a movie. They're doing great with that. It's I feel invested. I feel very invested in this.
Yeah.
Hey, how scared were you when you saw the clickers the first time?
Oh man, that was
hearing
great.
Just hearing
you heard it, and then you saw the face. I was like, "Oh my god, this is nuts!"
Yeah, when I heard him, I was like, "God damn it!"
Yeah. But even the way they obviously their heads all split open and stuff like that was cool. But even like the way they walked with their arms all weird, it felt so like real. Like man,
the actors knew they played the game. The actors played the game. Obviously, they knew what the hell they were doing. They understood the assignment, as Brandon likes to say.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks so good though. It looks so good. I mean, obviously you have Pedro, who is just A tier acting, and that is amazing. But real quick, like Knox said, I guess a lot of people weren't really with Bella Ramsey, with Ellie. I don't know if you meant Ellie as the actress or the character, but 100% of her in the first episode, but she won me over now. If you're talking about the character, she is gonna fully win you over by the end. I think by the end of the season, 100%. She is a very cool character. Yeah. Love all that. Yeah. So this is one I wanted to bring, the backstory. When they brought that up, they went to Indonesia, which was cool because that was referenced in the first episode when they're listening to the radio, and they were talking about the outbreak in Indonesia, and then Sarah asked her dad, Joel, and he's like, I don't know, that's somewhere far, and then how quick, it was like later that day, like it wind up traveling across the world that quick. So, and then her.
Dude, how powerful when you went to the scientist and she saw what it was and how she reacted, and they said, "How do you save us?" And she says, "Bomb the whole effing city and let me go back to CB with my family."
Yeah.
What?
Let me. Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, she was drinking the tea, and then she asked how many got away, because she thought maybe one, and she's like 14, and then like she started shaking, like, and she put it down. She knew. She goes, well, we're all screwed. I'll see you in the next life. Like, that was it. It was like game over. It was in her head. Game over. We're all done. Because she knew. That was. I thought that.
Once she saw the fungus coming out of the mouth, the way that she acted, she saw that and she was like, "It's over. I know it's over. Let me see how far you guys have gotten." And he was like, "Yeah, just like 30 hours." She's like, "Oh, we're all dead."
Yeah. Yeah.
Shit.
And then she freaked out when she pulled it out and she saw it coming. Like, she's like, "I'm out. F this." Like, I'm out. Like, she left that room so quick. It was. But when she cut into the leg, I thought that was cool.
Oh,
like,
my God.
you just saw the fungus inside. But the backstory part, I love it. They did it in the first episode when they cut back to the 60s, and it was that TV broadcast that they were doing, and then they cut back to her now, that happening. I wonder how much they're gonna do stuff like that. I don't know how much they have left of they could do that, but the backstory I thought was great. And then the scary part is I read an article today that somebody, the showrunner, talked to a bunch of scientists, and they're like, "Oh, this is very, very much a possibility." I was like, "Don't say that, man. Don't put that out there. Don't put that out there." It was like,
well, that's what you need to play. Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. That is for real. Don't
put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Yep. Don't.
Man.
Don't. I'm like, why? Don't put that out there, man. But that is some scary shit. But yeah. What else do you guys think, Brandon? What you got?
I'd say
He did it again.
Yeah,
So,
I didn't do it. That was my fault. But, yeah, he'll come back pretty
quick.
quick.
Ellie's the whole thing of people not buying into Ellie yet. She's annoying as hell, and she looks just so strange. She's not how I envisioned Ellie looking. That. She just doesn't look like how I thought Ellie was going to look. But as an actress, I think she's a good actress. I think that she's going to be able to pull this together.
100%. All right. Well,
yeah.
What were you going to say, Brandon?
I'd say the other thing that really works for me is just really just the tone that the show set and just kind of really running with that was set up from the beginning, as well as just from visually speaking, the way the clickers looked, just that feeling of tension and dread, dude.
Yes,
they're doing really great with that.
It seems like they care. Like they literally care about it making sense compared to the game. Just they actually care about what's going on, and that goes a long way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The tense, like Brian, you said, like emotional draining. So my girlfriend loved the story. She played it, watched people play it, and stuff like that. And we're watching it, and I get to see her like this tense on the couch, just this tense, like, because she knows what's coming, and it's you can't help it to get like, oh my god, like worried and scared and tense. And it was just like, I'm like, man, like this that sense of danger, like you're there. Like they do such a good job bringing you into the story. It's easy to do in video games because you are that character. You have to make that decision of opening the door and going into that room and stuff like that. So it's very different in video games because you're doing it. It's a little harder to do in movies or in TV, but they're doing it, man. They're doing such a good job and pulling you in, like you're there with them.
So. How about this? I never thought I was going to care that Tess died. I didn't think I was going to know more about her backstory without her saying anything. It was amazing how you could see her warming up to the idea of Ellie.
Mm-hmm.
World. Yeah, you're going to say she can save the world, and how she can possibly undo all the bad crap that she's done and she put out into the world since it started. She could undo it, and she cared so much. You could see it change because she just went from a badass to being someone who's like, no, look, Joel, you're going to save her. You're going to do this. Save who you can save. This is what you're doing.
Yeah. When she said, like, we can make things right, or make things right, or undo all the things we've done, or whatever she said. And I was like, oh, that was a deep one. Yeah. That was a deep. But so, like Knox said, one of those shows that hurts so good. It really is. It really is.
It is. That's a good one. That's very good.
And then Joe can't shoot for shit. Like, I'm gonna wait till they're right about to touch me, and then I'm gonna blow them up. I'm still not sold on Ellie's character just yet. I am. This episode did it because she's a little smart ass, and I think this episode.
Yeah, really she is.
Yeah, but it also made her like when push come to shove, she knew when to shut up and listen. You know what I mean? Because like. That's what I liked. Is like, yeah, you're a smart ass and you're a know-it-all, but then when it came time to actually like putting it to use, you're like, oh yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, and stuff like that. But I feel like eventually another point in our lifetime zombies will be a thing. Don't say that, man. Don't put that out there. Not in our lifetime. I don't want to hear that.
I don't want in my baby's lifetime. Oh my god, that means I can't die.
Yeah,
I won't be the zombie. I gotta stay alive because I can't let my babies die from a zombie. That ain't happening. Zombie ain't taking my babies out. No. That means I gotta grow a beard and have a patch right here like Pedro Pascal to be able to last all the time. That's why I have to have that same patch. That's the only way.
That's
the only way.
Have a patchy beard. Perp said, I did wish that the show is way more violent. It's been pretty TV-14 so far. I think that's where it's probably gonna stay. I think it's where it's gonna stay. I don't think it's gonna get too much more violent. I know. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think it's about the right level. when it comes to, I could see them kind of stepping it up a little when it comes to following episodes, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, he said he expected Tess to get ripped apart. That would have been cool to see, but I don't mind it. It reminds me of like the whole Jaws premise of like it's scarier when you don't see it and you let your imagination kind of run with it.
Well, what's crazy is like the seductiveness of when he came to her and the fungus entered her through the mouth.
That was nasty.
Like, it was like,
gross.
Why is it like this? Why are you you're seducing me in this scene? I didn't understand at all. And I was so happy to get relief by her blowing up the whole thing. Just thank God. It's just like, I was like, it blew up. Weird. I was like, thank you. It's just
yeah, that was, and then she just kind of like accepted it though. That was my thing. I was like, you didn't even bother like pushing back, or I don't know. I didn't quite get that. It could have been like, I know if I'm more
she just stood there and took it.
Yeah.
Why couldn't she like
an idea?
She had grenades. Why did she pull one of the grenades and drop it and blow everything up from the beginning? You ain't got to tongue kiss with fungus in your mouth. That's disgusting.
That was nasty.
Yeah. Y'all know what Brian might know because it's kind of bigger with kids. What thrush is? So thrush is a disease where there's a bacteria that grows in your mouth. So the top part of your tongue, like the white part of your tongue up there's a lot of bacteria on it. It can run away and it's called thrush, and you get this white kind of bacteria build up in your mouth. It's very painful. It's like a canker sore, cold sore, but like your entire mouth. That's what it kind of reminded me of was thrush. I'm like, oh yeah, it's like because they open their mouth and just
that's like nasty.
You gonna take it. Oh man. Yeah. So that's one thing it reminded me of. So if you ever want to see something nasty, it's not horrible. It's not like the show nasty, but it is kind of
getting on my nerves.
Question: did you guys mind that it wasn't the military chasing them? It was the zombies. Did you mind that?
I think it made more sense with the zombies.
In the show, it made way more sense. We haven't really introduced the military. They haven't done anything with it. It made 10 times more sense.
Yeah.
And you save that to later.
Tongue kicks with fungus. That's a bar. There you go.
Bars.
Yeah, no, it made more sense. I mean, I think the military is going to play a big part in the show because it plays a big part in the game. And they already kind of hinted at it, but right now at the moment, I think they want to introduce like the zombies. They did want to introduce like these freaky things. Like we know military guys can be bonkers, and we learned that from episode 1. But like we already know military sucks in this universe. Let's make sure these zombies suck too. So
let's give you the full feel of the zombies. Let's see, they're beautiful yet scary, and the quietness and the clicking sound was perfect, and the movement was perfect. And like when they were being quiet and they were hiding, I found myself being quiet and holding my own breath. That's when you know you do a good job. I was like,
nope, Peter told me to shut up.
So yeah, that's very good, very well done for me.
Yeah. And then Knox said Ellie's actor wasn't as I managed, but I think that's why I was meh on the first episode. But her and Pedro is so fun to watch together. I think that's why she won me over in this episode. Yeah, I like her. Like the part right in the beginning where he's like, if she even flinches, and she's like, ah, and then she's like, stop. Like it's such a kid thing.
That was good. That was good.
Yeah, it was very good. But. Zombie robot apocalypse, Jesus.
You're just gonna throw terrible words all together in one sentence.
Yeah, just they were mutant zombie robot. I don't know.
Aliens. Mutant zombie robot aliens.
Everything. I like the little touch of Ellie being so torn about Tess that Joel had to physically pull her away. Yeah. That really hurt me though. Yeah. But
seeing them caring about each other, and that was really good. I mean, caring more about Tess because I played the game. I didn't care about Tess. I was like, oh, she did.
Whatever. Yeah. But I think because Tess was treating Ellie like an adult. You know, like even she flat out told her, she goes, "Listen, I'm gonna talk to you like an adult, like because this is not a joke anymore." And I think Ellie kind of saw that. She's like, "Okay, like
I feel like like elements like that, like the character of Tess. You know, some of the changes have been to its advantage. You know, they really kind of, you know, the way that they built upon that was great. Like the character of Tess, her relationship with Ellie, how she talks and interacts with Ellie. So I'm really curious to see what other, you know, if they can, if they really run with that, if they make any other, you know, like it was essentially it was an upgrade to a character that, you know, like you said, I didn't really pay too much mind to in the game itself.
They did to Sarah. They gave us a backstory when we didn't have one, and made you care even more. So I mean, I'm okay with all the changes they've made so far. It seems like it enhanced it. I hope they don't go too far because you don't have to enhance this much. This is already a very good, you know, good game movie, series. All that is already there. So I just can't wait to see where we go. Personally,
Yeah. Like you said, you really don't need to do much. Like some of the backstory I like because it doesn't really change the story. It just adds more of it. You know what I mean? Like, because in the game, I don't think we didn't get backstory like that. You know, we got a couple lines and stuff like that. Like here, it makes it more serious. You know, same thing with like giving Sarah more of a backstory. It makes you really feel for Joel. You know, so when Joel and Ellie become a thing, like you really feel where Joel is.
You know why he's fighting when he's fighting this, like why it hurts so much.
Yeah, you know, so I like little things like that, you know, and well, I don't know spoilers, but I think they're gonna do something similar to. They kind of hinted at it. If you know the game, they did kind of hint at it in episode 2 with Tess talking to Ellie. So we might get some of that Ellie backstory too, which would be really interesting. And I think at the end of the season, we're gonna know Joel and Ellie's kind of full story, probably even more fuller than the game.
We know in the video game, yeah.
You know, and I think I think by the end of this season, we're gonna love them, like just like, yeah. Do you think Pedro was becoming typecast as babysitter now? Grogu, Ellie just find it kind of ironic. It is kind of funny. I think Brandon was making jokes about that.
Yeah, I've made jokes about that.
Yeah. There was I think I put something in our Facebook group about that where it's like show me the baby, and it's like something else. It's like no, the other one.
Let me see my kid, and it was Ellie. He was like, no, my real kid, and it was Sarah. And he was like, no, the one I love, and it was Grogu. It's like, okay, this is the way.
Even there's like another one I shared was like Pedro going, "Stay back, Grogu," and it's cuts to Ellie saying, "What?" You know,
that's good.
Yeah, so, there's some good, but yeah.
I actually got to cut out. I got to get up pretty early in the morning.
All right, yeah, we're gonna probably start closing up anyway.
Yeah, we're closing that now.
Yeah, yep. But you giving this one a thumbs up though before you head out.
Oh, easily, very easily. This is the best, you know, TV that I've. This is my favorite thing right now that I'm watching. That's on right now. You know, I was really, you know, they've been trying to get The Last of Us made for like a number of years, as you guys know. They were trying to do a movie for a while. I think the HBO Max approach was the way to go. B, the creators, Craig Mazin, or Mason, however you pronounce his last name, who did Chernobyl. I don't think they could have got a more on par, a more like on point person to handle this.
Agreed.
So it definitely delivered everything that I was hoping for, and that may be a little premature to say only 2 episodes in, but so far I think it's terrific.
Yeah, I agree.
2 episodes in, and we're already like best video game thing ever.
Yeah. All you gotta do is just adapt the content, respect it.
We're gonna get 10 hours of movie in a show. And that's what you need to do sometimes to really explain the story. You need to be able to give a backstory. You don't have to worry about the timeline. You just let it all go, and it comes out a lot better. So I'm very happy where we're going, and I can't wait to see where we go next.
Same. Yeah.
All
I'm going to talk to you guys later.
Head out. Cool, man.
Yeah, I'm going to get to bed. All right.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you
Sounds
later.
good. All right.
All right. All right.
But yeah, we'll probably start closing up. There's one question I wanted to ask real quick. We'll get through these last couple comments. I love when Tess asked if Ellie had a boyfriend. Ellie was like, no. The way she said it took me out. Yeah, I wonder if 9Gamers picked up the implication. Probably not.
Me as a father of girls, I heard it. I was like, motherfucker. So I ain't ready for all this. Come on, man. No.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why I was kind of hinting at. Like, if you know some of the game stuff and DLC stuff, you know where they're gonna head with that.
Exactly.
How long before they try to remake the Night of the Living Dead, the original? They've tried, didn't they? Didn't Zack Snyder do it?
Yep, it just didn't go well.
Yeah. But I'd probably stay away from that for a while because they got newer, better. I don't want to say better, newer, different stories of Night of the Living Dead. You know, so
I think we have some fresher ones that are going very well, and let's examine those and just really give them the full go before we go back to the great original.
Yeah, I mean, they're all kind of like taking the idea of that movie and running with it. Like, here's zombies, they're bad, but the real problem is still humans, you know? And that's how Walking Dead is like that. Every zombie movie's like that, you know?
Here's zombies, they're bad, but we're humans and we're worse.
Yeah, and even in the face of this real bad thing, where humans are still going to do really, really bad things, you know, so to each other, to non-zombies, and that's how Night of the Living Dead was. Yeah, I think that's what made that great, you know, in it, which one of my favorite movies of all time, like hands down. It still holds up, but they're all kind of retelling of that same story, you know. So and this Last of Us is not that different, you know. So
agree.
But yeah. So one question before we head out is game number 1 all of season number 1?
I felt like they said it was, so I think it will be all season number 1. I don't think we're going to get 3 seasons of this. I think he gets 2 seasons, and that works for Pedro Pascal. I feel like if you ask him to do more, he might not have been able to do it.
Yeah.
Because he's so wanted. But 2 seasons, perfect showing of things, I think that's good. That works.
Yeah. Yeah, because Drunkman and Mazin, I think, are the showrunners, which Drunkman directed this one, and Mazin wrote this episode, which was, you know, yeah, you can tell. Exactly. But they said that the first season is probably going to be the first one with the DLC, and the second season would go right to the sequel, to avoid any filler. But Mazin felt it would require more than
as Pedro says, this is the way. This is the way.
Yeah. Although I think you're going to do a disservice if you're going to play Last of Us is what, like a 50-hour game, and you're going to squeeze it down to 10 hours. You know, that's a lot.
You can't put 5 seasons in the first season.
No.
You just can't.
No, because there's a lot of like side quests and mazes and puzzles and shit in the game. You can obviously cut out. You know, and there's like video game stuff that you can cut out. But I think you could squeeze out 2 seasons per game.
Yeah, but you can't ask Pedro, who's at his age right now. You can't ask him to be there for longer. That's what you can't do.
You can do it.
So his publicist is like, no, he can't.
I disagree. Like, all the people that get paid by him working, they're like, oh yeah, no. He can do 100 seasons of this and do 100 seasons of Mando.
Yeah, he
what other kid he needs to babysit? Yeah, no, but I would like to see 3 seasons. 4 seasons would be nice. If it's 2 seasons, I won't hate it because at least it'll make it more meaningful and it's gonna be all good stuff.
And that's as long as we know we have HBO Max. So let's just not. I don't want to lose the story. So how about you just give me my story and let me be happy?
And then you can cancel HBO Max. You can call it Discover, whatever the hell stupid name, or Max. They wanted to call it Max. Like, why? But yeah. And then love this episode. Can't wait for the rest. Pedro and Bell are killing it. Love Test 2. The clicker scene is perfection. Agreed. Hope to see Bill next episode. Nick is perfect casting. Yeah. I think we're gonna see Bill pretty soon.
I think we will. Yeah.
With Nick Offerman. Love Nick Offerman. He's great. But I think that's a good comment to end it on. A little good summary, Barry, and then nice little look into the next episode or so. But you got any last words?
Nope. This is everything I waited for, everything I wanted. I'm appreciative of the show, and I can't wait to see the next episode.
Same. I've been avoiding the previews. You know what they always do at the end of the episode? They're like, "Oh, preview for next week." I don't want. Don't tell me. Don't show me. I want everything to be fresh. But I was saying that I was like that with Game of Thrones and the other House of Dragon too.
House of Dragon. Yeah.
Hopefully get flashbacks on how Joel met Tess. That'd be cool. I like that. I love the opening too. Yeah, the opening. Both openings in both episodes were. God.
Even her death scene when Tess was dying, and she's like, "Even though you didn't feel the same way I felt, it was okay." So I think we're going to eventually see that her professor love for him, and he'll be like, "You cool?"
Yeah, like she's gonna say, not Bella. Ellie's gonna ask Joel like. She wants to know more about her or something. I can see it. I can see a nice little story flashback, half episode or something. But I like it. But cool, man. Yeah, let's end that here. We loved it. Brandon, before he headed out, he said it was great. It's probably the best thing he's watching this year so far, and I agree. Best thing on TV right now. Until Mandalorian season 3 comes out, probably. So Pedro back to back, love it. But if you're watching on live, we appreciate all the comments. We love all you guys coming in and hanging out. Perp, Knox, Lewis, Plant Fanatics, all you guys. Who else? Xavier, Tony. Appreciate all you guys. So if you want to catch us live, make sure you hit that sub button if you're watching on replay. And we go live every Monday and Thursdays, talking about TV and movies and all the other good nerdy news and stuff. So make sure you hit that sub button, hit the like button on this video so we know that you like what we're doing over here. And that is it. We are on our road to 1,000, so we would appreciate a sub. But if not,
tell your friends.
Yeah.
Tell your friends.
Yep. But yeah, thank you guys. If you're watching live, stick around. We're gonna finish it up. But on replay, thank you. We'll see you guys in the next video.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Xavier said good night. Yeah, we're probably gonna head out right now anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say I probably need to go do some work.
Yeah.
I am at a conference. I probably should do some work. Huh?
Yeah. Well, hopefully Thursday we'll watch some trailers. We didn't get to really watch any trailers.
And I'll be home, back in my bat cave.
Nice.
Even though Batman's not a superhero.
He's a hero. That's all.
He's just a hero. He's a great hero. He's one of the best heroes.
He's the greatest hero.
You don't have to be super. He's better than that.
Yeah.
He's better than that.
Yeah. So next on Thursday we'll watch some trailers. There's we got Harley Quinn. I just saw a bunch of other cool trailers coming out too. So I just closed the window though. Yeah, whatever. And then we'll probably talk What's the other show? What's the other show we're watching?
Mayfair Witches.
Mayfair Witches.
We definitely gonna talk about that because I need you to go and check out the 2 episodes so we can talk about all this stuff.
Yeah, I watched episode 3. You know, episode 4 is episode 4 out already on AMC Plus?
Not till like Wednesday, I think.
Wednesday or something. Yeah. So yeah, we gotta check that out. So right now we're on the same page, which is good.
Cool.
Yeah. But like cool. Yeah, and then we'll probably hang out for a little bit longer. All right, but let's get out of here. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us. But we will see you guys on Thursday, and we drop everything if you want to watch any clips and stuff. We drop that daily. But cool.
Because thanks to man.
Yeah. All right, let's get out of here. Oh, also, any sports fans, check us out on the Nerd Huddle if you like football. So
please
link in the description.
Check us out tomorrow. We got Panda and Grizzly. I got Dynasty Pylon on Wednesday. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do Dynasty Pylon because I got a awards dinner. But usually I will be on Wednesday. I'll be doing Dynasty Pylon, and Thursday we'll be back here at Spoiler Kings. So check us all out, guys. This is great.
Yep. So, but all right, and we're out. See you guys later. Later.
Thanks, everybody.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. We out here.